Welcome to FurCast, episode 282. I'm your host this evening, Paradox the Red Wolf.
I'm your fabulous Blue Fox host, Pharaoh.
And it's just us tonight. CJ's a bad dog. He's off drifting, driving sideways somewhere in West Virginia or something like that, did he say? I don't know, you said he was with somebody. Anyway, Pharaoh's distracted tonight because he just found out that, you guys remember the Hollywood film we've mentioned a couple times in the show that he was in fursuit, like as an extra? Well, it might be coming out soon, so more on that if we find out any more information, but we don't want to reveal anything until like a trailer comes out or something because technically NDAs and stuff like that, but that could be exciting. I feel bad mentioning something at the very beginning of the show that I can't really talk about, but there are plenty of things I can talk about, such as thanking everybody in Toronto for the past weekend. I had an amazing time. So thank you to Lumen, Wrath, Av, Martamo, and Durdog. Durdog especially for planning the event. It was really awesome. We did like a fursuit photo shoot thing, and I have a bunch of pictures of it, and there's like some really adorable photos that this is technically part of the roundup, but whatever. And so yeah, if anybody's interested in that, link to my Flickr is on the contact page of the FurCast website. I have a ton of pictures, including this great, I would say Halloween-themed one from Spots, which is just a bit terrifying, but anyway. So, but yeah, I had an awesome weekend, so I just wanted to thank everybody for that, and I apologize to you guys, the FurCast listeners, that we've been off for 2 weeks now? Has it been 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
I think it has, yeah. But shout out to those guys. We've got new Patreon shout outs tonight, finally. And something to mention for anybody listening to the show way in the future. This past week is when the crack attack for WPA2 Wi-Fi networks came out. So for anybody who remembers that, I don't know, people listen to old shows, so blast from the past, Wi-Fi vulnerability, that's totally a thing. Also, a warning to everybody who's tuned in live that Daylight Savings Time Clusterfuck is incoming at some point, I think not next week, but I think the week after. We're going to be broadcasting at 100 UTC, not 0 UTC, so I don't know, it depends on what area of the world you live in, or you may or may not be, well, technically...
You just collectively not support it anymore?
That would be nice. Daylight Savings Time is such a piece of shit. Anyway, so that's awesome, and...
It doesn't even do it right, because it gets darker sooner. Why don't we get,
I know.
Why don't we...
We could adopt the Southern Hemisphere's...
Fall back and spring forward.
We could do it like Australia does, where only, one of the states switches.
Only one state switches.
Well, no, I think it's more than one, but I think one of them moves a half an hour, and the other... I don't know, it's weird, it's complicated. Anyway, Halloween is coming up. Are you doing anything for Halloween?
Probably throwing candy at kids.
That sounds fun.
Maybe. In
fursuit. Are you going to, chase after kids and terrify them?
No, just throw the candy at them.
Just throw... Okay. Got it. So there we go. And also, speaking of friends that I need to shout out, huge shout out to a bunch of the guys from the InfoSec Den, especially TC Fox and Sakari Cat, for basically, incentivizing, planning, and then following through with planning a trip for me to go to New Zealand. Flights have been purchased. I am going to New Zealand in February. In particular, I'm going to be landing in Auckland, and then I think a couple days later I'm going to Wellington, and then I'm going to a con. I'm going to FurCon NZ. Get it? It's the FurCons with the NZ at the end. Get it? Because New Zealand. Yeah. Anyway, so I should be going there. So shout out to I'm so excited about that, and it's really thanks to them that the trip was even planned and put together, and so I was working with them a couple days ago on that, and that'll be super exciting. So I definitely plan to take tons of pictures and video and have a good time. So one of these days I need to go to Europe too, but so yeah, shout out to those guys. They visited me and now I'm visiting them, so it works out.
You'll be in Australia? You'll be in the land down under?
No, I'm actually... I'm not even going to Australia. The flight that I got is direct from San Francisco to Auckland. So I technically am not even... originally when we were planning the flight, you go from San Francisco to Sydney to Auckland. But the new flight that we planned out, it doesn't do that, so...
Because if you were going to Australia, you might not come back alive.
Well, I don't know, as long as you don't leave the airport. Unless there's spiders in the airport. There's spiders in the airport?
Probably spiders on the plane.
Yeah, that's true. Probably are spiders in the plane. Anyway, so...
Worst movie ever. Spiders on a plane.
Spiders on a plane. Can we make that? Can we make like a parody?
Can it just be one spider?
I've never seen snakes on a plane.
Can it just be spider on a plane?
Spider, just a single spider takes down a whole plane?
Yes.
That'd be great. That'd be the end of the movie. That'd be like a really fast plot. Like you wouldn't even have to film that much. Just
There's
like
a spider on the plane, then just show a plane crash. Our movies are
the
great.
plane doesn't even crash. It just explodes halfway down.
You see the parachute, like a spider parachuting out.
Yeah, exactly.
Flying.
The spider survives.
They can fly.
Yeah, they can. We'd be great movie directors.
That's what the world got.
Yeah, we don't even need to film
needs.
anything. Just stock. We could just use like stock imagery and everything, or stock video. Just find like video of like people, like business people, sitting down on a plane, and then just shoot like a close up of a spider, and then just edit it all together. Wouldn't be that hard. We should do this. We could be making millions.
Making millions.
Yeah. Can you imagine if we like sold that as like, you know, HDR 4K Blu-ray?
No.
I would buy it. Would you buy it?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd buy it.
See, exactly. That's the point. Anyway, so, and then only other thing to mention is that,
13 days.
what? Oh, did you just message,
Other participants.
the other participants in the movie?
13 days.
Oh, boy.
Halloween.
So I bought a new microphone. It hasn't arrived yet, but I'm super excited about it.
Is it the furry mic?
It is a Schoeps microphone. It is spelled Schoeps. It's a German manufacturer. But the way it's pronounced is Schoeps. So bring on the furry puns. We're going to have some big, long Shep things in our face, possibly. I don't know. I'm just, I've always wanted to own a Schoeps microphone. They're like an industry standard for indoor dialogue in the cinema industry and cinema and TV. And yeah, so I bought a Schoeps CMC6 with a MK4 capsule, and I'm gonna like play with it and learn it. And I don't know, I might just sell it, but we'll see. I'm always trying to learn more about like microphone and audio stuff. So just thought I'd mention that though, because it's, you know, Schoeps. So yeah.
I want cinnamon rolls now.
Oh yeah, just because you saw a picture of cinnamon rolls.
I love cinnamon rolls.
Dude, the other day
Freshly baked, warm cinnamon rolls.
Last week I got super bored on Sunday, and not even.
You made cinnamon rolls?
I woke up and I said I am making cookies today, and I made oatmeal chocolate chip cookies, and they were delicious.
I like peanut butter chocolate chip.
You could do that. By the way, if anybody's curious, if you just Google search peanut butter, or sorry, see now you got me saying peanut butter, oatmeal chocolate chip cookies, the Betty Crocker recipe, which is almost entirely from scratch, is really good. I highly recommend it. You might want to use less oats though. What?
The one suit that was in the movie sold their suit.
Really? Oh my god, that's awful. So then oh my god, do they know? Does the buyer know? That's so good. Oh my god. Okay, so can you imagine buying a fursuit and you just like have a fursuit and you're like, yay, go to cons, I own a fursuit, and then you just find out that your suit is in like a major motion picture and not in a good way? I feel really bad for that person. They bought the suit and they don't know?
It's a comedy.
But the fact that they don't know that their fursuit is in a movie, that's going to be really bad. I really can't wait until we can tell you guys what this movie is, because... Can we just say the name? Because everybody
We've said the name before.
We have?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The name of the movie is called Pottersville, and it's coming out isn't it going to be on Netflix?
Yeah.
Okay, but it's possibly going to be on Netflix. It's coming out in a couple weeks.
No, it's not possibly going to be on Netflix. It is going to be on Netflix.
And it is going to be on Netflix. Okay.
But it might be at AMC theaters.
Okay, cool. Well, anyway,
the ghetto theaters, pretty much.
Yeah, the movie's called Pottersville. There's almost no
Where the
information.
Emoji Movie was.
Yeah. Oh, can we say one of the actors that was in it?
Which one?
The actor that played Hellboy is in it, and you have a picture in fursuit with Hellboy because you were there and everything, and you were an extra in this film.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, anyway, the movie's called Pottersville, so you guys can look it up. There's an IMDb page and there's a Wikipedia article, but there's like almost nothing on them.
Because nothing's updated.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like the production company kind of disappeared for like 2 years.
No, the production company is Ron Perlman.
Really?
Yes.
It's his production company?
Yes.
Really?
Because he wanted to get into making indie films.
Oh, good for him. Well,
And
now
since he had
there's
since he had a lot of connections with famous actors, it was easy to actually incorporate.
right. So
while
now
a normal indie filmmaker wouldn't be able to hire.
So now he made an indie movie company, and then he gets to do things with fursuiters. Not going to say what, but things.
I don't even know what.
You don't even know what?
I didn't see the whole movie. I was only in 3 scenes.
Yeah.
There's a lot more scenes.
You were in 3 scenes?
Yes.
So your life is going to be over times 3. I don't know. I can't wait.
I can't wait.
I'm excited.
I'm gonna order a big popcorn and just watch my life slowly.
Well, can we explain why there's fursuiters in the movie? Because the movie's about Bigfoot. It's like a Bigfoot comedy joke, and that's public, by the way. Like, it's all the descriptions say it's like
Just read the description.
Yeah, but because it's about Bigfoot, the joke is that there's a scene where, because they're trying to find Bigfoot, but instead they furry, yeah. Your life, Pharaoh, it's going to be over.
The plot centers around Maynard Shannon, a beloved local businessman who is mistaken for the legendary Bigfoot during an inebriated romp through the town in a makeshift gorilla costume. The sighting set off an international Bigfoot media spectacle and a windfall of tourism dollars for a simple American town hit by hard times.
All right. Well, that'll be fun to see.
So he keeps up the Bigfoot act, even though it was just him being drunk in the woods.
Yeah. So, you guys ready for the roundup?
No.
Of course, you're never ready for the roundup. Anyway, welcome to the roundup. The roundup is all of these links that we throw at your face that we don't have necessarily the time to delve into, but we want to show them to you in case you have time after the show and want to look them up on your own. So the first thing is bluefoxmarketing.org. This website is interesting. It says...
I went on a business venture.
You went on a business venture, apparently. So it says, we change everything. And there's like this huge video splash screen thing. And it's... I don't even know what this is, to be honest. But they do search engine optimization and search engine marketing and...
Wait, we're coming up to a tunnel.
We're going, oh, what's happening?
Sun rays.
Like, what even is this background? Anyway... So yeah,
it's like Tron.
It is. It's kind of cool. I kind of want to know what it is.
Escape to the open road.
So I didn't know that you owned a marketing company, Pharaoh.
I mean, you gotta try some things, you know.
Yeah. So
reach hand out, you know.
There you go. So I just wanted to put that in the roundup because it's Blue Fox Marketing. Next, Telegram updated, and they have a new thing called Live Locations, which I think is going to be amazing for cons. It's pretty sweet. If you're in a group chat on Telegram and people send a live location, you can open the map and it shows everybody in real time on the map. I believe you have to keep the app either in focus or you have to have app backgrounding enabled on your phone. This update came out like a week ago already, but I just wanted to shout it out because it's super cool and I think it'll be like really useful for cons. And so yeah, good stuff. So that'll be cool. Also, MFF's coming up, right?
Yeah.
MFF? What hotel is MFF at by chance?
Forgot.
It's the Hyatt O'Hare. Got a report from a big InfoSec blog, Krebs on Security. By the way, if anybody's interested in InfoSec, I highly recommend checking out Krebs on Security. Posted an article, Hyatt Hotels suffers second credit card breach in 2 years. I believe a pretty decent number of the locations, if not all of them, were affected. Largest number of Hyatt properties impacted was China. But either way, if you have paid for a Hyatt reservation, I highly recommend keeping tabs on your credit report and or setting up like notifications for your phone whenever you use your credit card. That's like the best thing ever. Yeah, not that it's the only place where your credit card is likely to be breached, let's be honest, but thought I would mention it. Next thing in the roundup is Hayu, who is a fluffy scarf. Hayu is awesome. He is a great indie game developer. He's called into the show a bunch of times. He's one of our Patreon supporters. He posted a YouTube video.
Hi, Hayu here. Today I want to talk about rocket science, because I really like rocket science, and it's not the hardest thing to explain. So why do we need a rocket in the first place? Why can't you just get a plane, fuel it up, and go to Mars? Well, you need a liquid oxidizer or some kind of oxidizer that you can carry because there's no air in space and you need oxygen to burn stuff. And you need to burn stuff to actually get stuff to come out the engine of the rocket. So here's the next hard part about rockets. When you're taking a lot of fuel, you also have to take it with you. You have to lift it as well as the rest of your rocket. So it might not make sense to take your whole massive fuel tank with you all the way to the top. That's why you have stuff like the Saturn V, where you have this part, which is only meant to carry the fuel for this part, which is
So if anybody's interested in watching how you explain rocket science in Fursuit, it is very cute, and it's kind of distractingly cute. So
when he was walking down the street, I thought he was replicating the BBC way of...
Oh yeah, that like fake BBC documentary where it's like, this is the walkie-talkie bit towards the camera.
Yeah. Play that.
Maybe in the post show. I played it on the show before. This was really cool. Tweet from, can you read that Twitter handle?
Silver Spots.
Silver Spots on Twitter. So shout out to Silver Spots. This is pretty cool. It's a map saying which furry convention you consider your home con. This map is divided into sections based on which convention is closest to you. Now, obviously, this applies pretty much to North America, but it is pretty cool showing all of the different cons and like what areas they're likely to be a part of. And all the colors are based on the attendance numbers. And yeah, so I'll leave that up on the screen for a second. It's kind of cool. You can see Furry Migration has a huge area. And Fur-eh. Oh, I have one of the little shot glasses from Fur-eh. And then Camp Farrell's up there. Yeah, it's great. It's in Alberta. And then Vancouver and Furlandia and everything. So, yeah.
See, it's what rates our home convention is Vernal Equinox. I feel like our home convention is more Anthroconish.
I don't know. It's kind of on the edge there. Well, you notice that they're very close. Technically, our home con is FurryCon, but we won't talk about that.
It's not a con.
It's kind of like just a big fur meet. I don't know. But yeah, so kind of a cool link. So we'll have that linked in the post show for anybody interested. Next thing, Swift on Security tweets, never join a furry company unless they're willing to pay for your fursuit and expenses to Anthrocon. Swift on Security is always tweeting about furries. I don't know why. But
because Revit.
Partially because Revit, partially because, I don't know. I'm pretty sure Swift has been to a furry con before. Swift, if you're ever at a con, can I buy you a drink? Like, you're awesome. Seriously. By the way, if you're interested in InfoSec, follow Swift on Security. It's amazing. Or should I say, follow Taylor Swift.
I think because the furry tweets get like more attention from like non-furries that are like, why are you tweeting about this? And then furries are like, yes, tweet more about us.
Pretty much.
I sent you a picture of what I sent to Hayu when I found it.
What?
That picture.
This picture?
Yeah.
The fuck? It's a guy fighting weasels with weasels. So, this is kind of older. This is from a year ago, and I don't know if we ever showed this on the show, but it's a bunch of fursuiters at EF mimicking the American Dad scene.
Actually, just having someone to talk to gives me enormous comfort.
I'm happy to do it, sir.
Boom!
Vroom, vroom.
Did we ever play this on the show before?
I'm a squirrel, and that feels great.
I think so.
I feel like we have shown that on the show before.
I feel like we have, but okay. I'm okay with showing it again.
Yeah, somebody linked it to me, and I don't know, but anyway. So there you go. If anyone interested in that, we'll link that in the show. This is pretty great. Article from Dorkly. 14 times people tried in vain to understand furries on Tumblr. And it's pretty great. It's just a bunch of random screenshots.
Just go to the first one, because I love that.
What? Which one?
That one.
This one?
Fuck you and your persona. Please fuck my persona.
My favorite one is this one. Some person posts on Tumblr, "Good night, sleep tight, don't let the werewolves bite." First comment, let them. Second comment, let them. Third comment, let them. Fourth comment, due to popular demand, werewolves can now bite and kill you. So there's that. My mom bought an All My Children Have Paws mug in an effort to disown us in favor of her dogs, but she is blissfully unaware that, in fact, 2 of her children are actually furries. Another person says, "Why do you know your sibling is a furry?" Person replies, "I made them a furry." Third person replies, "And this is why your mother's disowning you." So yeah, there's some pretty funny screenshots in there, so we'll link that if anybody's interested. Next, this is kind of cool. Anthro Northwest. I'm not sure if this is a new con or not, so forgive me if this con has been around for a while, but it kind of seemed like it might be a new con starting up. I know nothing about it, but just wanted to shout that out as being a thing. So if anybody's interested, you can check that out and possibly get some more information on who's running it and if it's going to be cool. But seems to have a decent amount of followers, so there you go. This is tragic, but with somewhat of a heartwarming story to it. Snepid McBurbface tweets.
Drift Sabercat.
Yeah, Drift Sabercat on Twitter. The display name is Snepid McBurbface, but Drift Sabercat tweets, "So my grandmother was given just a few more weeks to live. She absolutely adores fursuiters, so I figured I would ask Twitter for fursuit pics and well wishes to brighten her last days with us." And tons of people replied with awesome fursuit pictures, giving hugs and farewells and all kinds of lovely things. And oh my god, it was awesome. So, and that person replied as well and gave some more information and stuff. So just thought it was kind of cute and very sad, but I wanted to share that because it's one of those like furry fandom coming together for something kind of lovely when they can. So wanted to shout that out. And this is ridiculous. You guys know WikiHow
Oh my
articles.
fucking god, WikiHow.
Have you seen this?
No, I have not, but I love the pictures.
The tweet that we are showing is the person who wrote the WikiHow article. And they didn't realize, but guess what? The WikiHow article they wrote on how to be a furry got official WikiHow art. Here it is. WikiHow, how to be a furry. Number 1, determining if the fandom is right for you. And it's Zootopia thing. Let's see. Consider your interests and how they're into the furry. Decide if you like the people within the community. Number 4, understand that it's not a fetish. Number 5, decide. I love this. Decide if you want to be a furry. I love how that's step 5. And then talks about personas, and it's got all the art. And some of the art's actually not bad. It's kind of cool. Draw out your persona, and it's kind of a cool article. But as we go down, there's a part that I could not stop laughing. So hold on, let me see if I can find it.
There's so much.
I love this one with the Uncle Kage and the cockroach thing. Know the prominent members, I guess, apparently. So here we go. Community Q&A. Are you ready for this shit? I want you. So, can my furry be a supernatural creature like a werewolf? Yes, it can. This one. If I'm a Dutch angel dragon, do I have to squeak? I love that so much. Some person just thought like they had to edit. So of course somebody replies and says no.
The fact that their acronym is DADS. I did not know that.
Most dads don't squeak. Oh, that's interesting.
Dads don't squeak.
Yeah. This one is my favorite. Pharaoh, read this one.
Is it okay to make a character that has superpowers?
So this is somebody who doesn't know asking a community question, and somebody replied to them with this.
Yes, as long as the character isn't overpowered. Characters shouldn't be able to easily win a fight, unless the character is a wrestler or something. Characters shouldn't be able to kill in one hit either. It should have maybe 3 or 4 powers at the very, very most. If a character has only 1 power, try a medium strength power, or one that is mainly for themselves.
And 14 people have rated that comment as helpful. Let's see, show more. Let's see. Do you have to have interest in the anthropomorphic? Should I be scared to tell a family member? Can a doge be a fursona? Yes, they can. Somebody replies. I should rate that as not helpful.
I have no more words for you.
Mm-hmm. Warnings. Let's see. Are there any good ones in here? Make sure your handler knows what they're doing. If they've never handled a fursuiter before, have them watch a handler 101 panel or 2 on YouTube. What? Who says that? I mean, maybe, I guess, but...
I've never had a handler.
I've
handled myself.
You can handle yourself?
Yep, I can handle myself.
Oh, I'm surprised you can handle yourself. So there you go. WikiHow, how to be a furry. There's the thing from Pottersville that we were talking about, and there's the thing from Pottersville that we were talking about.
Doge Sona.
Yep. So that's the end of the roundup. Oh, people are posting nice pictures and oh, I'm getting distracted by Telegram stuff. Anyway, do you have a news article that you want to start with?
This one because it's ridiculous.
Okay. There we go.
Scientists have made genetically modified low-fat pigs.
Why?
Low-fat bacon?
I'm
Science.
upset by that.
Science hurts me now.
Like, were they experimenting with genetics, or is this legit, like, they're trying to have pigs that have less fat?
I don't know.
What is the point of a pig with less fat? How do you...
Fat-free bacon.
But that's... What? Bacon is fat. I'm very confused.
I mean, I like where science goes with things. I mean, but I don't want low-fat donuts. And I don't want low-fat bacon.
Well, but the thing is, too, is low-fat stuff isn't even good for you. It's sugar that's bad for you. Mm-hmm. Fat isn't actually, like... I mean, it's not good to eat too much, but it's not bad for you, unlike sugar, which is, like, excessively overused in commodity products. Like,
Sugar is put in meat, too. Like it's
yeah. Sugar and bacon. A lot of it is, like...
Sugar-crusted bacon?
Or, well, sometimes they...
Brown sugar bacon?
They don't, I forget what it's called. But anyway, yeah, there's that. And high fructose corn syrup, which is really prevalent in the U.S., which is even slightly worse for you, I believe.
High fructose corn syrup and caramel color. Mm-hmm. Then sugar. So high fructose corn syrup and sugar.
Yeah. No, it depends on the product. I mean, you can buy real sugar Pepsi.
I hate real sugar Pepsi.
I hate it, too.
It's disgusting.
You know why? It's the recipe is different. That's one of the reasons that I drink Mexican or Coke imported from Mexico is
Imported Mexican Coke.
Imported Mexican Coke. No, seriously, it's yeah, they throw it over the border wall, you know. Anyway, that was bad. No, I like it because for whatever reason, the like real sugar, like Pepsi and Coke that they sell in the U.S., they just replace the high fructose corn syrup with sugar, even though they have different potencies. So it just doesn't taste the same as like having the soda that like the original recipe was made for sugar. And I just find that this is much better. So there you go. But yeah, so
the reason for this creation of low-fat pigs is new gene editing research on pigs may help make the mammals less expensive to raise, possibly one day, especially during the winter. A team of scientists have genetically modified pigs to have nearly 25% less fat than average. The purpose of the study was to see if there was any way to stop pigs from freezing and dying during cold seasons. How does less fat? So we're gonna make more fattier pigs then? It's like just like a tube of meat.
Are they figuring? Are they figuring out how to make low-fat pigs so that they can reverse that and make like double fat?
Double fat pig.
Double fat bacon. I mean, I think the cut of bacon you get is the same. The difference is you just get more out of the pig.
Fat flavors meat.
Aren't pigs really intelligent too?
Yeah.
They're like one of the more
They're
intelligent.
smarter than dogs, and we eat them.
Yeah. Pigs are also closer to humans genetically than apes.
I know.
Yep.
So you can transplant a pig heart into a human.
Exactly.
It's kind of gross. Kind of cool.
Double fat. Hey,
Double fat heart.
That's the other reason they need it. Is that if somebody's like really overweight and they need a transplant,
double
we're
fat
gonna have to get this heart from a double fat pig.
A double fat pig.
Horrible.
2% pig.
2%. Skim pig.
Skim pig. Whole pig, skim pig, double fat.
Yeah.
I just want my natural pig.
Oh, do you have some skim bacon? I want some 2% bacon.
It's some 2% bacon.
Horrible.
Two scientists of genetically modified pigs to have nearly 25% less fat than average. The purpose of the study was to see if there was a way to stop pigs from freezing and dying during the cold seasons in order to help farmers financially with the heating and feeding bills. The study, published in the Journal of Proceedings of the National Academy of Science, was conducted by scientists from...
Wait a minute. So because farmers don't want to pay for HVAC costs,
Yes.
they want to make the pigs fatter.
Yes.
Seriously.
They want to winterize the pigs.
They want
Winter is coming.
They want to winterize. Can you genetically modify winterized animals? That's amazing.
That's what they should be going for.
Like,
How do we make pigs anti-freeze?
can we like do this for humans? Just be like if it's like a family in the north, they can be like, you know what? Let's modify our kid to be winterized. Let's
We
winterize.
don't need to pay money for coats anymore. or long sleeve
heating.
or heating or long sleeve shirts or pants.
Once fuel costs go up, we'll just winterize humans. And it'll cost less to genetically modify humans to just accept every climate.
I needed that new upgrade. Why? It's summertime. I need to be genetically modified for heat resistance.
Oh, I'm sorry. You live near the equator. You know, when you have a kid, why don't you make sure the kid's cold-blooded?
Was conducted by scientists from the UK and China using gene editing technique called CRISPR. Great.
Hooray, CRISPR.
I'm glad this is the first usage of it, or some of the first usage of it, to make low-fat pigs. The team produced 12 piglets, which all were male, from more than 25,000 pig embryos that have been injected with mouse gene called UCP1. Since pigs don't have UCP1 gene to help regulate their body temperatures, the team inserted the mouse version to create leaner animals. Similar experiments have been done with the past, and even though it has not always produced the perfect result, in the case that it did help pigs control their body temperature, according to the researchers, the pigs showed an improved ability to maintain body temperatures, decreased fat deposition, and increased carcass lean percentage. To test the outcome, the mammals were later euthanized and butchered.
Oh, happy
Let's
ending.
see how this tastes. I can't wait to taste this low-fat bacon we just made.
They just like changed genetic code for different flavors.
I feel like the scientists were just hungry.
They're just like messing with code. I wonder how this will taste.
And they were just like, God damn it, why is there no this low-fat bacon tastes like shit. Let's make our own. How are we going to do that? Low-fat pigs.
Yeah.
Euthanized and butchers, allowing the scientists to conduct further research and taste tests. Doesn't say taste tests. I'm adding that. The outcomes show that the organs and tissues of the modified pigs were as normal as the pigs that hadn't been genetically modified. This is a big issue for the pig industry. Lead researcher Zhao from the Institute of Zoology and the Chinese Academy of Sciences in Beijing told NPR, "It's pretty exciting." I'm on a low-fat diet, so I only eat low-fat pig. Genetically modified, of course.
Horrible.
Like, you know how there's like Whole Foods? When's we just start having like genetically modified food
Just
stores?
create a rival brand called Half Foods.
No, just genetically modified. Modified brands.
Yeah.
Everything.
It's every brand with just an asterisk next to it.
Green eggs and ham.
Asterisk. Eggs, asterisk. Because it's like technically not actually that food if it's just genetic. Like, so when you say like, oh, it's pork, but like pork by definition is that. So it's just like pork asterisk.
Pork plus.
Pork plus. Modified pork.
Pork XL.
Pork special edition.
Pork V2.
V2. Shit. Pork exclusive.
Limited edition pork.
Yeah. I just like pork asterisk, and then like you read the asterisk, and it's like not actually pork. I don't know.
In the paper, the team noted that the UCP1K1 pigs are potentially valuable resource to the pig industry that can improve pig welfare and reduce economic losses. A unique selling point includes low-fat pork for consumers. God damn it, I called it! And I was joking.
Damn it!
I was
so
joking this
upset.
whole time, and now I'm upset. I'm fucking upset. I need a moment. I would need a moment if CJ was here, but I need a moment.
Yeah.
Which scientist is on a calorie-cutting diet?
Yeah, which scientist is this? I want to meet them and punch
This wasn't
them.
all of them. This was one scientist. It's like,
Oh, man, people need, low-fat bacon. Let's genetically modify pigs.
we have the technology. What experiment are we doing? Well, we're not really doing anything right now.
How is this a scientist, too? Haven't they read the studies that, low-fat shit doesn't help you at all?
Well, we're low-fatting it from the source. No chemical preservatives.
Oh, my God.
It's still not yet clear whether or not it would be in supermarkets soon, or even ever, for people to purchase. However, Michael Roberts, a scientist from the University of Missouri, who edited the research paper for the scientific journal, told NPR, "I very much doubt that the particular pig will ever be imported into the U.S. One thing, and secondly, whether it would ever be allowed to enter the food chain." If it saves Chinese money, they're already entered it in the food chain. It's escaped. It's here already.
It's escaped. Pigs just start getting smaller and smaller now.
Planet of the pigs.
Bacon goes extinct. There's just no bacon anymore ever since the genetic...
Planet of the Pigs terrifies me more than Planet of the Apes. Planet of the Apes doesn't terrify me, but Planet of the Pigs does.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of pig personas either. No
Yeah.
offense. I think pigs are gross, kind of.
Oh, yeah?
Actually, no, not kind of. I think pigs are gross. I don't like pigs. I like bacon. I like ham. I mean, I watched Babe when I was younger, so.
Oh, yeah. I remember that movie. I used to play it all the time. When I was a little kid. It was always on TV.
There's
Anyway.
Charlotte's Web, too.
Oh, yeah. Good times. Tragic times.
Low-fat
Good
Charlotte's
times.
Web.
Low-fat Charlotte's Web. Okay.
So there's pig competitions to get how fat you can make a pig. Like, literally, they put tons of money into, one pig to, over-fat them. 3 times fat. So it's just, a ham with, little nub legs. It's not even, a pig anymore. It's just, a meat tube.
Yeah.
On stilts.
So speaking of animals and issues, first wild bison in Germany for over 250 years is shot within a day.
Was it low fat?
No, unfortunately. After almost a quarter of a millennium of absence, a wild European bison was spotted rambling through the forest in eastern Germany, and within a few days, it was shot dead. The animal was first spotted on Wednesday by a member of the public near the River Oder on the border between Germany and Poland, reported the local, which I'm assuming the local is like a newspaper. After the authorities were made aware of this astonishing sighting, the head of the public local order office decided that the bison was a danger and subsequently ordered 2 local hunters to shoot the animal dead on Thursday. It is thought that the male bison probably wandered over the border from a national park in Poland and was likely to be one of the first roaming European bison spotted in Germany for over 250 years. By Friday, the Worldwide Fund for Nature had announced that it is pursuing charges after the official who gave the order to kill the animal, quote, giving permission to shoot a strongly protected animal without a clear potential threat is a criminal offense. Chris Heinrich, a WWF board member, said in a statement, quote, after more than 250 years, a wild bison has been spotted. WWF.
World Wrestling Foundation, originally.
Really? World Wrestling Foundation.
And then they tried to patent the name, and the World Wildlife Fund was like,
Really? I didn't know that.
that was years ago.
No, I don't remember that.
It used to be the WWF. It was World Wrestling Federation.
Right.
And
That's
World
funny.
Wildlife Foundation existed prior, and they were WWF.
Right.
The American Wrestling, or WWF Wrestling, tried to patent the name, and World Wildlife Foundation just laid the smackdown on them. And then they couldn't even use WWF anymore for the World Wrestling Federation. They had to change it to, I forgot what it is now.
Right.
So I don't pay attention to wrestling, but I remember that because it was just like, BAM! Don't fuck with us. We're the animals.
That's actually kind of awesome. Native bison have already been released into national parks and other wilderness areas within Germany. Back in 2012, a small herd of 8 individuals was released to establish a semi-wild group in the... Not even going to try to pronounce that. Still, the recently deceased bison is thought to have been the first free-roaming individual ever to have wandered into the country. European bison are listed by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN, as vulnerable on its red list of endangered species. There are only around 2,700 free-roaming individuals known, and they are classified as strongly protected animals under German law. The European bison once ranged across Europe, but its numbers have been decimated over the last few centuries. They were hunted so heavily that in 1927, the last wild bison was shot in the Western Caucasus, with around 50 animals surviving in zoos. From then, conservationists have worked tirelessly to rebuild the species, reintroducing bison back into their native continental range. Poland, where the individual likely originated, has one of the healthiest populations of bisons in Europe. Despite hundreds of the animals roaming free, there have been no reports of them posing risk to anyone. It is therefore unclear exactly what the official thought was so dangerous about the unfortunate individual in the first place. That's pretty sad.
I have an article.
Okay, go ahead.
This is the early days of Boozy Badger.
Oh yeah. Oh, speaking of which, I actually have something in the roundup. I think. Did I put it in the roundup? No, I didn't. Hold on. I meant to put it in the roundup. Here it is.
Boozy crafting products.
No, so Boozy's at FurPoc right now, FurPocalypse. By the way, shout out to Wrath, one of my good friends who's running lighting at FurPocalypse. Boozy says they have a school bus filled with booze and furries. I went to the wrong school, and he posts a picture.
Look at the booze on the front of the school bus. There's a bar on literally the front of the school bus.
That's amazing. So there we go. You've heard of the School of Hard Knocks. Now get ready for the School of Hard Knots.
Damn it. Get out.
Shit.
I'm upset.
That's so good.
Wild badger sneaks into home, impersonates family cat.
That's awesome. And I'm going to go fix your camera really quick. I want to move it a little bit.
Wild badger sneaks into furry fandom.
Yeah. This is how Boozy came here.
And doesn't leave.
Yeah, it's too bad Boozy's not listening because he's probably drunk at FurPoc right now.
Where's the bell? There's something that's going to happen.
Oh. There you go.
If there's any actual badgering going on, it was likely from the cat.
Wow.
Oh. I can't say I'm upset because it's going to dilute my upsetness. A bold badger briefly replaced a family's pet cat after a wild animal reportedly snuck into the home through the cat door last week, ate the feline's food, and then took a nap on the cat bed. An animal rescue officer with the Scottish SPCA was called to Lithengro home on Wednesday after a homeowner discovered the wild animal nestled up on the plush bed, the animal welfare group reported on its website. SPCA officer Colin O'Neill, who came face-to-face with the cozy creature, said getting the animal to leave took a lot of effort. It looks so cute. Badger's like, this is warm. I like this.
Somebody in chat says fake muse.
Fake news.
Fake muse.
He had gotten through the cat flap and had eaten all the cat food before going for a sleep on the cat bed. She recalled posts to the SSPCA's website. He didn't seem too happy when I tried to move him, but he was able to slide the cat bed around, and it was then the badger noticed the back door was open and immediately run for it. Though the badger may have played the cat's role to a T, the SPCA advised people to proceed with caution if they spot such animals. Like all wild animals, badgers can be very aggressive and when injured or cornered. So we would advise to not go near or touch them without at least giving us a call first, said the Scottish SPCA. Chief Superintendent Michael Finn. Unfortunately, he said badgers breaking into homes is actually highly unusual. But badgers breaking into the fandom is not.
Yep, exactly. Well, it is pretty rare.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah, we've only got one, really.
Boozy.
Yeah, Boozy, who...
I mean, there's badgers before Boozy.
Yeah, of course. There were? I'm just kidding. Is that the end of that one?
Yes.
School of Hard Knots.
Stop.
That's so great. So I agree. I have a great article. But first, I would just like to formally apologize to all of our UK listeners. I'm about to read a story from the Daily Mail. I'm sorry. Personal apology for me. I'm sorry. Anyway,
sorry.
moving on to the article from the Daily Mail.
We're sorry.
Man, whoa, that music was really loud. Sorry about that. Man who used blowtorch to kill spider is left homeless after burning down his house. Of course, it's news about a Seattle man, even though it's the Daily Mail. A Seattle man caused a $60,000 damage. Really? 60,000? Oh, I guess it is a smaller house. Seattle man caused $60,000 in damage after using a homemade blowtorch. Homemade blowtorch.
Like
What do you think that is?
Like a...
Probably just aerosol.
Aerosol, yeah. And hairspray.
To try to kill a spider in his rental home on Tuesday night. The 24-year-old who lived in the house with his mother had used a can of spray paint and a lighter
Even better.
to try to chase the spider from a laundry room. Wait a minute.
What color spray paint?
Wait a minute.
What color spray paint? Matters.
You were spray painting?
There is a lot better flammable
Really?
materials.
Like not even like deodorant or something? Like spray paint? So are you like painting as you're trying to kill the spider?
Track it. I think it's over here.
There's like a huge line on the wall with like exactly where it went.
Can we try spray painting spiders and where they crawl? Maybe they spell out a message like "fuck you."
Like I just made it like some person comes over and they're like, "Dude, what happened to your wall?" Oh, spider. But it's also you're also chasing it with a flame, so it's paint and a burn mark. Following it, there's just giant like charred marks in the drywall. I don't understand
How to decipher spider language.
So the 24-year-old who lived at home with his mother used a can of spray paint and a lighter to try to chase the spider from a laundry room, but the fire quickly took hold. The man, who had not been named, tried to douse the flames with water, but it soon spread to the attic. Oh my god. Wow, it really took out like a whole room on the house.
I think it's the whole house.
That's terrible. That's really crazy.
Spider still lives.
No one was injured in the blaze, although the spider is believed to have perished.
Believed. They didn't find the body.
Yeah, they didn't, but...
Wait, that contradicts itself because it says no one appeared to be as injured.
No one... Well, yeah, but spiders don't count as people.
They run a lot of things. They run the internet with the web.
That's true. But
World
the house
Wide Web.
probably doesn't have internet anymore because it burned down.
But World Wide Web.
Although the spider is believed to have perished. So do you think it was worth it for this guy to like burn down his whole house to kill a spider?
Who thought the spider perished? Like,
I don't know.
It's like the Homer, like, we think we got it, but you don't know. Spiders are evasive. He probably escaped. He flew away.
Attempts by fire crews to put out the blaze were delayed over fears that rounds of ammunition may have been stored inside. Seattle Fire Department spokesman Kyle Moore said the tenant has used a, quote, self-made blowtorch to kill a spider in the laundry room. Quote, I don't want to encourage people to do this, but that's what he did, Moore said. The spider tried to get into the wall. He sprayed the flames on the wall, lit the wall on fire, and that extended up to the ceiling. Washington State is home to two venomous spiders, the Black Widow.
He painted the wall first with spray paint and then lit the spray paint on fire so it would trace up to the spider?
No. I think maybe...
Because spray paint is still flammable even if you spray it on, so...
Oh, it is?
Yes.
I think he was just doing it with the spray. Holding a match in the spray.
No,
because it says blowtorch. It says blowtorch.
But reread that. What was it?
The spider tried to get up the wall. He sprayed flames on the wall, lit the wall on fire. Yeah, so he sprayed it with the flame.
Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
It's a blowtorch. Washington State is home to two venomous spiders, the Black Widow and the hobo spider. Well, if it's a hobo spider, then come on.
I've never heard of the hobo spider.
Well, deaths from both are rare. Yes, but hobo spiders have heard of you.
I'm sure they have.
While deaths are rare, hobo spiders can cause skin ulcerations, headaches, and disorientation. Well, maybe the spider bit him. And that's why he tried to... A black widow bite has been known to kill in a small percentage of cases. Mostly, the venom causes severe muscle spasms. It is not clear if the spider was a venomous one, but Moore said the fire was not the most effective way to get rid of the creepy crawlies. Neighbors described seeing flames and black smoke pouring from the property as the fire took hold. There were giant clouds of smoke pouring out the windows, Caitlin Sharp told Curo TV. The Red Cross is providing temporary accommodation for the displaced family after the house was declared uninhabitable. And, oh, that's the end of it. So, yeah. That's the end of that article. I guess.
Toxicity and aggression of a hobo spider have long been debated. The current consensus is that it's not dangerous or venomous, not a dangerously venomous species.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Because hobos are often aggressive, it has been named the aggressive house spider or hobo spider.
Wow.
What's that graph?
This is an interesting article that I pulled up, which I'll link you guys. But it says first evidence that online dating is changing the nature of society. Here, let me just pull up a track. I'll just read like the first section of this track or this article, maybe. First evidence that online dating is changing the nature of society. Dating websites have changed the way couples meet. Now evidence is emerging that it is changing the influencing levels of interracial marriage, and even the stability of marriage itself. Not so long ago, nobody met a partner online, and then in the 1990s came the first dating websites. Match.com went live in 1995. A new wave of dating sites, such as OkCupid, emerged in the early 2000s, and the 2012 arrival of Tinder changed things even further. Today, more than 1/3 of marriages start online. Clearly, these sites have had a huge impact on dating behavior, but now the first evidence is emerging that their effect is much more profound. And there's this graph that they show in the article where it's a bunch of different factors on like what influences how you meet your partner. So, for instance, met through friends, bar, restaurant, coworkers, met in college, neighbors, family, met in primary or secondary school, met in church, and then there's met online. And everything is going like completely down in the trends, especially so met through friends went up, and then now it's curving down. Met through like church and all that is going way down. Through family is going way down, but met online is just flat at the bottom. Boom! It just like shoots up like exponential, like crazy jump up on this graph. For more than 50 years, researchers have studied the nature of networks that link people to each other. These social networks turn out to have a particular property. One obvious type of network links each node with its nearest neighbors in a pattern like a chessboard or a chicken wire. Another obvious kind of network links nodes at random, but real social networks are not like either of these. Instead, people are strongly connected to a relatively small group of neighbors and loosely connected to much more distant people. These loose connections turn out to be extremely important. Those weak ties serve as bridges between our group of close friends and other clustered groups, allowing us to connect to the global community. Say, this person's name that I'm not going to try to pronounce, from the University of Essex in the UK, and Philip Hergovich at the University of Vienna in Austria. Loose ties have traditionally played a key role in meeting partners. While most people were unlikely to date one of their best friends, they were highly likely to date people who are linked with their group of friends, a friend of a friend, for example. In the language of network theory, dating partners were embodied into each other's networks. Indeed, this has long been reflected in surveys of the way people meet their partners through mutual friends, bars, work, educational institutions, church, families, and so on. Online dating has changed that. Today, online dating is the second most common way for heterosexual couples to meet. For homosexual couples, it is far and away the most popular. That has significant implications. People who meet online tend to be complete strangers, and when people meet up this way, it sets up social links that were previously non-existent. The question that these two people, that I'm not going to try to pronounce their names, investigate is how this changes the racial diversity of society. Understanding the evolution of interracial marriage is an important problem, for intermarriage is widely considered a measure of social distance in our societies, they say. That is really interesting. The researchers start by simulating what happens when extra links are introduced in a social network. Their network consists of men and women from different races who are randomly distributed. In this model, everyone who wants to marry a person of the opposite sex but can only marry someone who a connection exists. This leads to a society with a relatively low level of interracial marriage. But if the researchers add random links between people from different ethnic groups, the level of interracial marriage changes dramatically. Our model predicts nearly complete racial integration upon the emergence of online dating, even if the number of partners and individuals meet from newfound forms ties is small, say these two researchers. And there's another surprising effect. The team measure the strength of marriages by measuring the average distance between partners before and after the introduction of online dating. Our model also predicts that marriages created in a society with online dating tend to be stronger, they say. Next, the researchers compare the results of their models to the observed traits of interracial marriage in the US. So I'm going to stop there, but if you guys are interested, this article goes on and on and on, and it's really cool, and it's from the MIT Technology Review. So there we go. So yeah, and I'll actually post that in chat if anybody's interested there. Do you want to go on, do you want to go on break?
Wait, so you could, I want to do one more article since I was kind of relating to that one.
Okay.
In a sense, but in a funny way.
What kind of music? Let's do music, interesting music. Here I could do, how about this one?
Blowjob music.
Blowjob music? What do you mean blowjob music?
I have no idea.
Oh. Here's blowjob music.
Sorry, this science.
Science.
I if this is serious, it's hard to take serious.
Right.
But there is a actual study from Oxford.
Right.
And yeah, so oral sex between couples in a monogamous or open relationship shouldn't have to them fearing for their lives, but a new study reveals that men who have a high number of oral sexual partners could increase the risk of head and neck cancer.
So here's my question. Okay, so you're telling me that oral sex increases the risk of throat and neck cancer. Does anal sex decrease the risk of cancer because it massages the prostate?
Don't do drugs, kids.
Because I would find it hysterical if oral sex was bad for you and anal sex was good for you. Can you imagine?
I can only imagine.
Anyway, I got some nice porn music in the background here.
This is why what's the old saying where like representation does not often mean causation?
Correlation does not equal causation.
Correlation does not equal causation.
Exactly. Could it be that people who have more oral sex do other things in life that could increase the risk of throat and neck cancer?
But because it goes on to say the same is true for men who smoke, with the higher risk category being men who smoke and have a higher number of oral sex partners.
Yeah, I don't know if that data correlates because, like, here's the other thing. Like, what kind of lifestyle do people who don't have oral sex live? A pretty shitty lifestyle, but also probably, like, different everything. Because, like, you're comparing, in a lot of ways, like, I would say that, like, most people who do somewhat, like, sexual things from time to time probably do a bit of oral. Like, I know a few people who really don't like oral, but they like other types of sex. But for the most part, most people that I've met are like, if they have any sex at all, like on a regular basis, they probably have a little bit of oral. Either they do it or their partner does it. So if you're comparing between people who have oral sex and people who don't, you are basically comparing between people who have sex and people who don't, effectively. Because of the fact that most people, I would say a significant number of people who have sex, do at least a bit of oral, right? So at that point, you're comparing potentially people, you're comparing people who
your dick keeps hitting the back of a throat.
What if it's like people who deep throat, like get no, if you deep throat, then you don't get the cancer.
Just clears up that, you know.
Yeah, just clears up, wash them out. Anyway, no, but like if yeah. But the thing is, at that point, you're basically comparing people who have sex on a regular basis and people who don't have sex on a regular basis. Which, at that point, not to, like, say something judgmental, but people who don't have sex on a regular basis probably live also a significantly different lifestyle than people who do have sex on a regular basis. Right? Because, like, if you have sex on a regular basis, that means maybe you're partying more, maybe you're, like, I don't know, maybe not smoking, but, like, I feel like there's other things involved than just...
Well, I think it has to correlate with the HPV virus. So, like, human papilloma virus.
It could be,
So that's an introduction to that into the throat.
Yeah.
By deep throating.
Deep...
HPV.
Terrible. Let's
oral,
not... Let's...
Oral injection. The study shows that HPV-related middle-of-the-throat cell cancer among men has doubled over the last 20 years. By 2020, they estimate that the middle-of-the-throat cancer will become a bigger issue than cervical cancer in the U.S. Blowjobs, man, they're just deadly.
Yeah.
The threat we know that goes unseen.
It's just like, what happened to Jimmy? He sucked Jeff's cock and now he's dead.
This gives abstinence people a lot more ground to work off of. Do you know what blowjobs do? They cause cancer.
They have like those presenters that like come into schools to like scare, like fearmonger kids. They're like, my friend named Jeff, we were at a party.
He sucked a dick.
He sucked a dick. And now my friend Jeff is dead. And they can just like tell like horror stories about like people who suck dicks.
Melissa was an atrocious dick gobbler. She died in 3 weeks.
Jeff just loved Melissa so much and decided to pleasure her.
If only they did anal.
Yeah. You imagine instead of abstinence, they
Fuck
promote
me in the ass for Jesus. That's all the song. That's all I can think of right now is the song "Fuck Me in the Ass for Jesus."
Did you really?
What?
I've never heard this.
You've never heard that song?
No, I never. I don't want to.
Can we play it in the?
I don't know. Later, maybe.
No,
I don't want to hear it right now.
break.
I don't want to hear it right now. But like, just
How have you never heard "Fuck Me in the Ass for Jesus"?
I just never heard. What the fuck kind of question is that? Am I like
expand your music?
Am I missing something, or are you just a shitty friend that wants to torture me?
Can it be both?
No.
Obviously, you haven't seen my music collection.
No.
Nor do you want to.
Besides your Zune that you have with 90s
my Zune is still up there with a lot of music.
Pharaoh has a Zune that he hasn't updated in literally a decade and a half, and he still uses it.
Got a lot of good music on it.
He hasn't updated it since he bought it and put music on it originally, but the music that's on it is all from like 2 decades ago. It's all 90s music and Disney music.
Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Look at my Zune. It is complete.
God damn it.
The study published in the someone said Annals of Oncology included 13,089 people between the ages of 20 and 69 who had been tested for oral HPV infection. They had then used the data on the U.S. or middle of the throat. I can't pronounce the actual term for it, so I'm just going to call it middle of the throat cancer, which is its other term for it. Cases and death to predict one's cancer risk from oral HPV. Men who engage in oral sex with 5 or more partners had a prevalence of 7.4% of oral infection with cancer-causing types of HPV. This compared to with 1.5% of men who had oral sex with just 1 or no partners. For those who had 2 to 4 oral sex partners, the risk increased.
Somebody in chat says, "Swallow, kids."
You probably should spit.
Spit. Always remember to spit.
Get that cancer out of you.
I'm gonna spit that cancer right out of my mouth.
Can that be another song? Spit that cancer right out of your mouth.
Spit the cancer out. Is this another like metaphor for chewing tobacco?
But it's semen, not
tobacco. Yeah, exactly.
My dog.
Oh, the dog is
the dog. Hi.
Yeah, the dog randomly came into the room and is nuzzling Pharaoh's crotch for some reason.
Not nuzzling my crotch. It's like just put its paws.
Yeah, it just put its paws like up on it. Like it's like, oh hi, dog. Oh, I guess the dog just wanted to say hi to you.
So if you smoke and prefer oral sex,
then you're really fucked. See, that makes sense to me. Smoking, I could see correlating.
Men who smoked and engaged in oral sex with 5 or more partners landed at 15% chance of middle of throat cancer.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
So yeah, it was published on October 19th.
Well, there we go.
HPV DNA in an oral rinse and gargle sample.
What?
I was just thinking of it in the wrong way because they were don't gargle kids. Oh my god, I can't.
We're terrible. You guys are listening to FurCast.
I never knew sucking cock was so dangerous.
You guys are listening to FurCast. Live on XBN. We'll be back after a quick 10 to 15 minute break.
You're listening to FurCast.
Support for FurCast comes from Patreon users, including Blaze Fusky, Shame on the Photon Wizard, Fayoun, Oliver Fox, Link Shell, Skipper the Otter, Energize the Wolf, Sweetie Darling, Cat Nook, Wishstone Dragon, Sniff the Pallid Bat, Jake the Husky, Riley the Wusky, Binary Paws, Fireline Coyote, Craig the Husky, Code Yax, Loop, Raven Snowfall, Tukiri, Red Maple, Lieutenant Fox, Doxy, Meru Snowmew, D Otter, Nether Lynx, Wup, Adrian the Husky, Archon the Four-Eyed Dragon, Leon Wolfheart, Rourke the Awoo, Letho the Pink Wolverine, Decibel Fox, Zoopy Zoo the Oreo Tiggy, Vertical Feline, Fuzzy the Fox, Crazy Wolf, A Certain Horse, and Gaia Wellen.
Additional support comes from Twitter users Alpha Werefox, Commander Wolf 3, Magic 7 Wolf, Myron the Fluffy, Fishykin, XSS Fox, Drop Table Foxes, Parafender, Dapper Panther, Zelig on Twitter at Stealthy Dragon, 12 on Twitter at The Lion Thing, Nia on Twitter at Secretkins, Shua on Twitter at Pulsing Panther, Coda Winter on Twitter at Dakota Wolf 12. From Telegram users, Mike Chrome. And from YouTube channels, Anthony Wolf Gaming, Ottercat Gaming, and Weasel Level Design by Hayu the Fluffy Scarf.
Additional support for FurCast comes from Emerald FurCon, a one-day mini convention in Pensacola, Florida. Go to emeraldfurcon.com to register for free. Devin D. Parlett in the Furry Hockey League at furryhockeyleague.com. Macrowolf at macrowolf.com. Shisha Sheppy, who's a good boy. Harry Who Ink Pen Mouse at harrywho.com. Fishmeister Cod, still not a furry since February 2011. Neshoba Silverwolf, FA user Silverwolf-1122. Umi the Sheeb, FA user 450 Angel Dragons. No, that's objectively. Any way you look at it, that is a crap ton of Angel Dragons. Little Sunshine and Scootaloo with the unofficial XBN Xbox app at patreon.com/horseapps. FurCast's #1 Wimpy fan, Tyler the Wusky. Chris Tail on FA, specializing in toonie art. X the Fox, the real Blue Fox. Xeno Snowfox on FA. Kumo, wishing everyone a :3 day. To Bunny Boy, who says at Paradox, bunnies are friends, not food. Super Dwarf with anthrolinks.net. Skycorp, creating transformative technologies for mature audiences at skycorp.global. Zoopy Zo, supporting Tim Tam Anonymous meetings. Kranos, who says circles are rubbish. Meds the Fox and Mississippi Anthropomorphics. Like our Facebook page at facebook.com/msanthro. Techwin, TC Fox, and Kaiwana of the InFurSec Den. Sylvan Scott on Fur Affinity with macro, micro, and hyper-fiction stories. Shadowclaw Studios. Check out our Facebook page for links to our gaming streams. The Feline Support Alliance, because canines are obsolete. I don't know how to feel about that these days. We gotta live with them, you know? Shacket Airlines. We still and always will land on our feet. Silver Gatomon at patreon.com/silvergatomon. And Cheetah Paws. For a daily dose of bulgy arts, support him at patreon.com/cheetahpaws.
Support for FurCast comes from Patreon, PayPal, Bitcoin, and from listeners like you. To become a patron and learn more about supporting FurCast, visit furcast.fm/donate. This is XBN.
This is XBN.
in the fields. Take it out back, take it where you feel, and nothing else. Rocking on an angel.
Shout out to Jeremy Blake, who makes some amazing stuff. Highly recommend checking out his Bandcamp page. Also, shout out to Jeremy Blake, the guy who wrote that track, who followed me on Twitter recently. And then when I started tweeting a bunch of furry stuff after that, he replied to me with snap pictures. So I would assume that means you're a snap, Jeremy Blake, which I have to say is wholly unacceptable, but at least you haven't started mowing at me yet, so I suppose there's that. In the meantime, for everybody watching on YouTube, we might actually be back right now, because the track that I'm about to play next, I'm not sure if YouTube will be okay with it, because it's good. I love this track. This is just this track. What? I might be able to play that next. It's horrible. Anyway, you guys are listening to FurCast. We'll be back after this.
Queen
So, what the hell is this, Pharaoh?
What were we talking about?
I know it's the thing we were talking about, but like, are you going to introduce this before we... By the way, welcome back, YouTube. We might have had to edit that part of the YouTube video out because YouTube didn't like that track. I'm not sure, actually. We'll see. So what is this, though?
Oh, fuck me in the ass because I love Jesus.
Okay. Apparently, we're playing this.
God's loophole.
Oh, yes, I've seen this video. I have seen this.
All my life, I've been good, do what my mom and dad and God say I should. Go to church and Bible school to live by God's rule. So whatever people tell me that the Bible tells me, I will do. Walk the halls of high school with my purity ring. Unlike those other girls, I got my morals in check. It was easy to do till I got a boyfriend. And pardon my French, but he's cute as heck. But I made a pact to keep my hymen intact, and Jesus and I are tight. Never learned about the birds and bees. I was taught to keep an aspirin in between my knees, cause the Bible says premarital sex is wrong. But Jason says that guys can't wait that long. I don't wanna lose him to someone who'll do him. I need to figure something out. Well, there's a loophole in the scripture that works really well, so I can get him off without going to hell. It's my Hail Mary full of grace. In Jesus' name we go to fifth base. Oh, thank you for making me holy, and thank you for giving me holes to choose from. And since I'm not a godless whore, he'll have to come in the back door. Therefore, fuck me in the ass, cause I love Jesus. The good Lord would want it that way. Give me that sweet sensation of a throbbing rationalization. It's just between you and me, cause everyone knows it's the sex that God can't see. It's hard to be as pure as me, to resist the urge to lose my vaginal virginity, to wait until my marriage bed to give my husband my unsullied maidenhead. So take your cock out, shove it in my ass, fuck me until you come. Oops, I mean let's join our souls and unite our bodies and fly with the wings of God. Whatever you do, don't touch my clitoris. If you ring Satan's doorbell, God can't ignore this. And no prophylactics when you put it in, cause birth control's for sluts and it's a sin. I've emptied my bowels and laid out the towels. I'm ready for romance. Now I'm praying to the power that's the highest. But of all of my holes, this one's the driest. And we can't procreate if we anally copulate. And God's okay with sodomy, but only if you're straight. And I'm staying pure no matter what. So I'm okay with everything but, everything but, everything but. Whoa, fuck me in the ass cause I love Jesus. The good Lord would want it that way. Give me that sweet sensation of a rock-hard rationalization. It's just between you and me, cause everyone knows it's the sex that God can't see. I do whatever the Bible tells me to, except for the parts that I choose to ignore because they're unrealistic and inconvenient, but the rest I live by for sure. So let's not talk about how the good book bans shellfish, polyester, and divorce, and how it condones slavery and killing gays, because those parts don't count, of course. Let's cherry pick the part about losing my cherry and mine it for ambiguities and omissions to circumvent any real sacrifice, but still feel biased in my arbitrary parroted positions. And don't you dare question my convictions, and don't look closely at the contradictions. Just focus on a sacrificial crucifixion and have faith in its complete jurisdiction. Is the only way to measure if you're good or not. And in a debate, just say to have faith, because when up against logic, it's the only card you've got. So close your eyes, take a deep breath, and fuck me in the ass, because I love Jesus. The good Lord would want it that way. Give me that sweet sensation of an irrational rationalization. It's just between you and me, cause everyone knows it's the sex that God can't see. Yeah, my chastity belt has locks, but sometimes you need to think outside the box.
I have no words. Okay. I mean, it was good. But, yeah.
Did you ever heard of Stephen Cheese?
No. I don't think so. And I have seen that, by the way. As soon as we started playing it, I immediately recognized it. So, yeah.
I forgot who introduced me to Stephen Cheese. It was someone on Telegram. And while we're talking about this, I want everyone to recognize Stephen Cheese now.
Okay.
Because I've never heard of him.
Oh, is this the comedian that, wrote that or something?
No.
Oh.
He writes other stuff.
Okay.
Oh. Tiberius. W. Tiberius.
Okay.
Search Richard Cheese, My Neck.
Do I have to search something else now?
I'll search it for you.
What is this?
Remember how we were joking about when CJ was on?
Yeah.
About my neck, my back, my pussy, and my crack?
Yeah. Can I not play whatever this is?
Well, it's smooth jazz. Version.
No, that makes it worse.
It makes it so much better. There's Nirvana in smooth jazz.
I don't know. Do we have to play this? Why do you have to ruin my show? It's not my show anymore, by the way, guys. Stop calling me the FurCast guy. I'm not the FurCast guy. I have nothing to do.
Guy.
Yeah, he's the FurCast guy. I'm the guy that makes FurCast possible, unfortunately. I regularly regret what I put into the world.
Here, I just want you to. You don't have to play all of it. You don't have to play even that much of it.
Okay.
I just want you to. I just want the people to realize who this person is because.
Do it now, lick it good, suck this pussy just like you should.
So he takes rap songs and makes smooth jazz out of them.
That's kind of a nice, smart thing to do.
Smart thing to do. He does a lot of them. There's a lot of songs.
All you ladies pop your pussy like this. Shake your body, don't stop, don't miss. All you ladies pop your pussy like this. Shake your body, don't stop, don't miss. My neck, my back, lick my pussy and my crack.
Okay, I've had enough. That's, okay. It's actually catchy, too.
I know. That's what's terrible about it.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. I feel a lot of free time.
Hi, everyone. I regret everything. More specifically being friends with him. But, yeah. So what are we doing? What do we want to do? Do you have more news? Or do you want to...
I just want to talk about Richard Cheese more.
Okay. Well, the floor is yours, sir.
Like, he sings, like, Welcome to the Jungle in smooth jazz. Like...
Right.
I'm trying to think of what music...
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the Jungle. Isn't that, like, a really... one of those classic rock tracks that...
Oh, you got... We've played out the show, like, done...
Yeah. Where it's, like, really, I
was trying to think of songs that, like, just Down with the Sickness. Chop Suey. I'm not sure what, like, any songs that you've listened to, if he's done. But he's done, like, hundreds of songs.
Mm-hmm.
He does Ice Ice Baby.
Okay. So let's see.
Bohemian Rhapsody. Stairway to Heaven.
So, I have an email.
We can go to emails.
We could do emails really quick. Because we didn't read emails on the last show, I think.
Hey, before we do that.
What?
Since we were talking about a lot of science things, we were saying fuck science, like low-fat pigs.
Yeah.
I have a few list of...
Oh, so you have an article?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not switching to news. Okay, or emails. So, okay, let me switch it then. News... All right.
That song just reminded me of this.
Okay.
Which was scientific... This is going to be quick, so it's not going to be that long.
Okay.
Scientific papers.
There you go.
That were released in 2017. That are a bit strange. Like a headline for online articles, papers sometimes have eye-catching turns of phrase inserted into them. On other occasions, they're just downright bright strange, such as the scientific article called Wax On, Wax Off, Pubic Hair Grooming and Potential Applications.
Oh. I could see it.
Another example of the former is toilet reading habits in Israel adults. This is a marvelous scientific study.
You know, I can imagine that actually being a very useful study, because in some parts of the world, sanitary issues are crazy.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting is that... well,
these are all scientific studies, so I mean, they all have merit.
You know what I've always wondered? How come in, like, modern-day Western culture, bidets are, like, not common? I mean, you can buy them and put them on your toilet, but... Yeah.
Americans are scared?
But why? It's more sanitary.
Because something's touching your ass.
No, it's not. It's spraying water at your ass.
But that's something touching your ass. So that's like... Americans can't take that.
What?
Only Jesus touches them there.
Okay. Or toilet paper, apparently.
It's the hand of God.
But it's like, it's just funny because it's shown like scientifically to be like way more clean, and yet it's just not common here, at least in the US. I don't know about other Western countries, but it's just not a common thing. Like every once in a great while, you'll see one.
Are you saying you want to install a bidet in our house?
We could. They're kind of nice. They have different modes and stuff. You could do like a massage mode.
Can we just do a digital toilet?
What?
Like have you seen the Japanese toilets?
That's what that is. That's why.
Well, no, there's a toilet and there's a bidet. There's separate at times.
Right.
But you're talking about all in one.
Yeah, all in one. Yeah, you can get like...
You didn't say all in one. You said a bidet. There's a bidet and there's a toilet, and then there's an all in one. That's a toilet with a bidet. But the two are separate entities.
Okay, the all in one is the one I meant. So that's what I meant.
Okay.
Okay.
So just clarification.
So established. Moving on. Our toilet. Yes. That'd be neat.
You just get like a $2,000 like Wi-Fi enabled Bluetooth
God damn it.
toilet.
No.
Like that talks to you. So you'd be like, open lid. And it'd be like, yes.
Guys, I can't wash my ass. My bidet is DDoSing something on the internet. Guys, the bidet isn't working. Oh yeah, it's DDoSing something. Don't worry about it.
Can we just get a bunch of bidets and have them DDoS things?
Just a room full of IoT bidets. What?
Like a server room.
Like
just
racks of just
toilets. This is a shitty DDoS. I'm sorry.
Wow, you just... That ruined that. I'm done. I'm upset with you. Shitty DDoS. Really? It's a shitty DDoS because of IoT bidets.
Wi-Fi enabled toilet.
No, why are you... Of course there's going to be a Wi-Fi enabled toilet. Can't wait to...
Flush with your smartphone.
Why?
Toilets get Bluetooth. There's smart toilets, bidet hacked via Bluetooth. The third article down.
It's already happened. People have already fucking weaponized IoT bidets. This is truly the internet of shit. Holy crap. Literally.
What is if you don't have the Android app? If there's no flusher, like shit, the app won't download.
Shit. And then somebody yells in the bathroom, like, it's like, hey, how do I flush your toilet? Oh, you need to download the app. Shit. What's my app store password? Crap.
The Satis G-Type luxury toilet.
Do you want to read this article instead?
I want to read both now.
I think you're at this point.
Fancy toilets. But there's always room for more potty innovations. A new line of toilets from Lixil will turn smartphones into commode controllers.
I mean...
Commode controllers.
Yep.
Are set for release in early 2013. With the magic of Bluetooth and accompanying Android app, users will have a minute control over the high-tech privies. The app can trigger lifting the toilet seat Or flush if you've forgotten.
You just get like a push notification. You forgot to flush.
According to the promo video, it looks like the app can also control the extended bidet feature that looks absolutely frightening. There's a video, apparently.
I don't know. I don't know.
Does it do a little water show? Like with LED lights? Like when your toilet's not in use, it's just like...
It's just like a fountain.
I want this toilet. It's like the Las Vegas fountain show.
Like it keeps doing it, and then in order to like stop it from doing that, you have to like open the app. So you like really have to go, and you're like crap. And you're like opening up the app, and you're like, where is it? Stop. If the network's down, you can't take a shit.
Power's out. I can't flush. A bidet feature that looks absolutely frightening. Can you please search up a video of this toilet while I'm reading it?
I'll try to find it.
It's SATIS G-type.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, that's what it looks like there.
The app lets you maintain a diary of toilet use and even maintain a diary of toilet use. What I needed in my life. And even play music through built-in toilet speakers.
Toilet speakers. Why not just have speakers in your bathroom? Like, I don't understand. I'm waiting for this to load possibly a video. No, it doesn't look like there's a video, even though Google said there was a video. Oh, here's a review. So, oh, that's great. I didn't see that.
Didn't need to see that.
Maybe it's this. Okay, I get how
a toilet flushes.
Yeah, it's... I don't know. Just keep reading the article. I'll look around.
Since many people already confess to using their phones in the bathroom, it makes sense to hand off toilet controls to the gadget you're already using. So I'm going to go back one. And go back to this one, third article down. Smart toilets bidet hacked via Bluetooth gives new meaning to backdoor vulnerability.
No. No.
This is 1 year after the toilet's release.
Backdoor vulnerability.
Bestowing terrifyingly new definitions of the phrases backdoor vulnerability and security hole. Security hole. Show title. Don't touch my security hole.
Touch my security.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Security hole's dirty.
You got a dirty security hole. We gotta fix that. We gotta patch that up. Gotta patch that with some 2-ply. Wipe that security hole clean. This is why we can't have nice things. One of the world's most luxurious toilets has been exploited by hackers. The smart toilet is vulnerable via its built-in Bluetooth radio, allowing hackers to remotely open or close the lid. And play music.
FurCast Act 2.0.
What are you doing? They won't stop playing podcasts.
I'm just trying to take a shit and it keeps playing. It just keeps playing podcasts.
What was that monk music? You know, where it's like, oh.
Oh, yeah. The monk music. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Hold on. I'll find it in a second.
The toilet just turned, the LED lights turn red, and it's just like,
It's just like toilet seat opens up. Yeah.
My toilet has a security vulnerability.
Got to update the firmware on the toilet. Hey, does your bathroom work? No, I'm firmware updating it.
Where's this router cable go?
Why does this Ethernet cable go in your
bathroom? Toilet? Direct connection. Oh, God.
Yeah.
The small toilet is vulnerable via its built-in Bluetooth radio, allowing hackers to remotely open or close the lid, flush the toilets, and most vulnerably, activate the built-in toilet bidet function.
Just waste water. Yeah, that's the worst part.
They increase the actual flow rate, so it just sprays like The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Like sits the back of the room.
Yeah. Oh God.
Satis lets you control all of the toilet's functions, including the flusher, bidet, hot air blower. It also lets you track bowel movements. At this point, you should probably watch the promotional video below, just so you understand the solidity of this security risk.
All right, so hold on. All right, so I think I'm gonna. Here we go. I think I found the article that you have. So this is the article Pharaoh is reading here.
The Bluetooth pin is hard-coded to 4 zeros.
Oh, great. What's the password for your toilet?
00000.
What's the password? Oh, here we go. Ah, good. Here we go, guys. It's got good music.
And with the promotion code FurCast, you can save 30% off your Satis toilets. That's terrifying. This is
Get like a custom control panel on the wall for this. This looks like a well-designed product.
You can warm the seat.
You can. So it's got seat warmers. Oh, and I'm guessing that's like water cost or something.
Relax music.
Relax music. Very nice.
What music are you listening to? I'm listening to relax music.
This is my shitty music.
Shitty music.
This is just so much engineering went into this. Like, I'm kind of upset. So there you go.
I want to see if they have the app.
You gonna download the app?
Well, they're showing it in Japanese, so I mean, it has to be available.
Yeah, probably. You can install the app and compromise some toilets. Relax music. Toilet adware. People are, the chat room's great right now.
You must watch this ad before toilet seat opens.
You have to watch an ad before you can take a shit.
The future is a scary place.
Or before you flush.
I don't want to live on
So you just have to sit there and you can't flush it until you watch an ad.
Wow, we should be advertisers. You know, we got this sold.
Just buy ads on people's toilets.
Toilet ad space.
Toilet ad space. You go to use your toilet and it's just like, advertise here. Oh, great. What would you advertise on a toilet? Like, would it be toilet-related things?
Charmin Ultra.
Charmin. No, I just imagine, like...
comfort seating.
Laxatives or something.
Laxatives.
Toilet ad blocker.
Hemorrhoid cream.
Can we move on? We need to move on from this. This is terrible. Okay. That was good. You need to pay the toilet in Bitcoin.
Anyhow, back to my original article. I don't know how did we go here?
How did we get from here to there?
I forgot.
What was this original article? I don't even remember what the original article was.
Strange scientific paper titles.
Oh yeah, and then the toilet, and then the thing about toilet usage in
Israel,
in Israeli toilet usage, and then I mentioned bidets, and then we went from bidets to IoT bidets, and then we went from IoT bidets to hacking IoT bidets. Okay, cool. Back to that. So much for a short article. Welcome to FurCast.
Place where you teach you how to hack a toilet. I just want a toilet laser light show. We get Fizz to like design little like LEDs that are like in the base of a toilet and it shoots up like
no.
So you have like like you know like those like music things. Sorry, I have to do this one last thing where like the water jumps to the music.
Yeah.
Like if your toilet is just like
you're like sitting there listening to a track. You have to wait for the drop. Yep, you're welcome.
No. Wait for the drop.
Yeah, wait for the drop.
While you're shitting on the toilet.
Yep. And you're scored based on it. And then you get to share your score.
Stop talking!
You get to share your score on social media.
I'm done with you. Going back to this article, that's about darkest, strangest scientific papers. Some extremely inappropriate ones, like ashes to ashes, thermal contact burns in children that caused by recreational fires. So these are some of the strangest bunches of scientific articles that were released in 2017. On human odor, malaria mosquitoes, and Limburg cheese. Are full or empty beer bottles sturdier, and does the fracturing threshold sufficient enough to break a human skull? Ovulatory cycles affects the tips earnings by lap dancers. Economic evidence for human estrus.
Huh, wow.
I'll scratch your back, if you have one. Who doesn't have a back?
Yeah. What?
Traveler's diarrhea with a vengeance. Keep in mind, these are scientific papers. These aren't like news articles.
So
these are scientific papers.
On the toilet bidet thing, all I can think of is that there's like different levels. So you can like...
Level 1.
You can like shit to a Skrillex track. I feel like Skrillex would be like diarrhea.
Yeah. It's like diarrhea from my ears, so I mean, yeah.
Yeah, basically. I'm glad we've got that established.
I'm more upset that thinking the toilet would play a different soundtrack depending on the type of poop that's going into it, but now I'm done with toilets. I never want a toilet again. I never want to toilet again. Chickens prefer beautiful humans. Death by chocolate. Is it possible? The sweet smell of success. Pooper Scooper Cam. How to commit a perfect murder. The effect of country music on suicide. The perils of bungee jumping. Etymology of lawnmower-related injuries in children. A 10-year review.
Wow. Terrible.
Ocular lawnmower injuries. Teeth in the brain. An unusual presence of penetrating head injuries.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, I'm done. I'm just done.
You done?
I'm done.
Yeah. Good article. It was good.
How much are those satin toilets?
I don't know. Probably too expensive. Plus, you have to hook them up. You gonna look up prices? All right. Do we want to move on to emails?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we should probably move on to emails. All right. Oh, whoops. I accidentally muted the thing that plays this. Sorry. Let's see. Where has all the good mail gone, and where are all the fans?
Where's the streetwise fursuits to fight the rising spam? Isn't there a white knight upon a centaur steed? Late at night, I toss and I turn and I dream of what I read.
All right, so I have an email selected from... Hold on, let me just do these cute things. I should start emails because I have to do stuff. There we go. It is called Becoming a Part of the Fandom's Community. Hi, everyone. Just some context. I am turning 20 and I live in the UK. So I've had this problem for some time. I never really felt like part of the fandom. I've never gone to a fur meet or a con, and I've only met one furry. Sure, I make art, but I never felt like I was a part of everything. I feel so disconnected that all of the happy furries that I see in con videos just seem like they are in another dimension that I can't reach. Aw. That's really sad. It's been my dream to go to cons and live with furries, but I don't see how you guys do it. Every furry I find is either completely uninterested or they want to be usually in a monogamous relationship with serious rules. I found that being really serious like this is a big problem because all I want to do is live with a bunch of friends who all happen to be furries. Why do these people always want to turn it into a goddamn drama-filled soap opera? I'm not sure if anyone will understand this because most people don't. I don't want a boyfriend. All I want is my life to consist of friends who may or may not have a combination of platonic, romantic, / sexual relationships at any one time with any number of them. But as soon as I show affection for someone, they just jump to, boyfriend, you want to be my boyfriend? You want to be my boyfriend? No matter how much I explain it, they just want to slap a restrictive label on everything. I am tired of people trying to control me and lock me down and make a serious drama out of everything. All I want to do is live with a bunch of furries, go to cons together, be friends and have fun, but apparently that is too much to ask. Now, here's the big question.
I think they're grouping too many things together into one.
How would you... Well, here, I'll finish the email first. How would you reach the goal of living with furries and making friends in real life and stuff? Because I've looked for people, and they are all like the people I described above or in another country. The only thing that I can think of is going to a con or meet alone, but I'm not sure that's a good idea. I've also tried Pounced, but let's just say I've only found one type of person who use it, and they don't work well in casual or non-romantic relationships. Thank you for reading, Avery, and I guess it couldn't hurt if anyone wants to talk to me. My Telegram is at Avery Hyena. That is AveryHyena. Well, first of all, I wish I knew where in the UK you were, because there's a lot of furries in the UK. And in particular, like whatever region of the UK you're in, I'm sure people could have like contacted you. My recommendation is absolutely to go to a con. Because, I mean, cons, well, big fur meets are more common in a lot of the European countries, especially UK. But the cons last a little bit longer, and they're like, pretty big. And I would recommend checking one of those out. Because first of all, it'll be fun, and worst case, you go there and you don't like it, and you don't have to go again. Yeah, that would kind of suck to go alone. Rooming with people should be okay though, because, in that case, you're just... especially if you meet somebody on a forum or on Twitter or like something like that, I wouldn't worry too much about that. Honestly, I think going to a con would help. I don't know, like, I understand what you're experiencing with this email, and I understand that there are a significant number of people like that, but definitely not a majority. Most furries I tend to meet, whether online or at cons, are just like wannabe friends. I've noticed that people who want to get into relationships, some of them, I've noticed that the more monogamy type people specifically seek relationships, whereas more like open relationship anarchist like me, or like maybe poly or whatever, tend to just kind of like, meh, you know, and then they just kind of find themselves in a situation. So it can be actually kind of difficult. That's one thing I definitely have an issue with, is it can be difficult to find intimacy because you're trying to find intimacy without a relationship, which is definitely, not a cultural standard. I don't know. I would say you just need to hang out at a con, get to know some people. And
to be honest, I wanted to pause you for a second and say that I think they're combining way too many things into one kind of goal. It's like, I want to have like a bunch of furry friends.
Okay,
plausible.
So that's step one.
But then they're going into like, I want to live in a house with a bunch of furries, which again, plausible.
Yeah.
But then they're like, I want that house furries to be a bunch of people that I can have open relationships with.
Again, plausible, but
but you're getting more and more difficulty. This is not something you just kind of like haphazardly create and then say that you want no drama in this like household of furries with open relationships.
Well, and that's the thing, is every successful situation that I've found myself in, whether labeled or not, right? Whether this is a connection I've labeled or whether it's just like something like a person that I happen to talk to a lot that I haven't even thought to label the connection. It all just kind of happens. I don't really design it or choose it or ask for it. It kind of just, I mean, I might say to somebody like, hey, I'd love to hang out with you more or something like that, on that level of asking. But even like us, we're about to move in, but like I've been a furry for more than a decade, and we've known each other for
over a decade.
Yeah, about that long. And it's taken us this long to even get to that point. Yeah. And there is really strong...
And we don't fuck each other.
There's a really strong marijuana smell coming from the other room in the house. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's a lot. Okay. Anyway, sorry.
Your brother's home?
Yeah, my brother must be home. But, yeah, I don't know. I think it's one of those things you just need to take it a step at a time. And like, that's a nice pipe dream, right? I don't want to turn you off of having that dream, because it's definitely a possible real dream to live with a bunch of furries that you're very like open and snuggly and intimate with. That's awesome. And I actually agree with you. That's what I seek as well. And you just kind of need to hang out at cons and you have to establish...
Life's unpredictable, so don't try to plan it.
Yeah. But also...
I mean, it's good to have goals and like what you'd like, but don't be discouraged when that doesn't work out like you want it to. So
yeah,
I think that's my thing on this, because like you're like listing off like 6 different goals that you want all at once, and that's like winning a lotto. You're not gonna just happen to fall into a house with a bunch of furries all in an open relationship with no drama and go to cons all together.
Yeah,
like
try like going to cons for half a decade first, or maybe like, I don't know, even traveling a little bit. Like, that's the other thing. Like, you can't beat, the experiences of going to other places, and that can also help to, like, just...
I don't mean to be pessimistic about it, but it's like, because it could happen.
I know
you could win in the lotto. That could happen, too. But, I mean, it just seems...
No, I wouldn't say it. It's definitely... I know a lot of furries who live together and are somewhat intimate together. It's definitely possible.
Yes,
it's just,
but did that happen overnight?
No. They were a furry for, like, a decade, and then, like, they finally found people to move in with.
So you're saying that they built small goals, like, being in the fandom for a while, then going to cons, then making friends, then getting a house, then inviting people to this house that were your friends, and then finally kind of having it all collaborate together. So micro goals.
They did have furry roommates very quickly, but they went through several different living situations with different people that all ended badly until they finally found a group of people that they were happy to live with. Because that is the other thing. The first time you move in with some people, And the other thing, too, is I would not jump into a living situation with people you're intimate with, because that can end real quick if you run into issues with, I don't know, rent or other things like that. It's good to have a long, stable, like, relationship with a person in some way. And when I say relationship, I mean any type of relationship that you've known for a while, and you know how that person is with the things in life. Does that person get a new job every like 2 weeks? Does that person pay their bills on time? Does that person, like, things like that, and gathering that kind of information and the feel that you have with that person, that can help. But even then, like, I know 2 furries, I'm not going to name names, but they live in Washington, D.C., and they moved in together, and they keep finding out through, like, seeing bits of, like, AD Twitter tweets, they have found out that they're into the exact same kinks, and they have not shared them with one another at all. Like, they joke about it. And I remember saying to them, I'm like, those are like really niche kinks. Like, why don't you guys like have fun together? And they said, because we don't want our like housemate relationship to turn into an intimate relationship, because they were worried that that would like ruin their living situation. Seriously.
So they keep it business class.
Not a business class. They still have furry shit everywhere, but it's more that like...
I was joking, you don't fuck your coworkers type thing? Like,
right, exactly. They were worried about it. Now, again, I know plenty of people who live together who are still intimate, and that's fine. It just depends on your perspective. But yeah, all things to think about. Go to some cons, maybe travel a little bit, just slowly gather friends, and, don't gather friends with an explicit purpose. Just gather friends that you want to spend time with. That's the most important thing. So there we go.
Fond memories for you, and an interesting question. I've been a loyal fan for years now, since episode 150 or 160 something, back when it was just Paradox and Pharaoh struggling to keep the unusual spectacle that is FurCast together. In one episode, one of you made a reference to B, the former co-host. I was curious to know who B was, so I searched the old episodes. I know you always recommended avoiding the old episodes, but I decided to listen to the old episodes regardless of your warning and understand the old FurCast crew. The old episodes on their own are very interesting and entertaining, as the new ones are as well. Considering how many of the current events and funny news stories I can remember from one thing from my own memories that you first also discussed. Sorry. One thing that did frequently happen between Pharaoh and Maddox at the time is that of the spontaneous erupting with random ideas, words, or sounds. Reminded me of an old funny track from Dr. Demento. It was called Bulbous Bouffant. Basically, a couple of guys waiting for the bus, trading funny-sounding words. They eventually get into rhythm and are consequently interrupted by the arrival of the bus. The track is about 4 minutes and 15 seconds and can be seen on YouTube clips and various variety shows. Basically, it's old enough that you should be able to play any good portion of it on the show without any problem. Anyway, back to my story. Every time I hear Pharaoh and Maddox spouting some random stuff and Paradox trying to make sense of it, and Paradox is just trying to make sense of it, or else just letting them fall down the metaphorical rabbit hole, I remember the old Dr. Demento track and wonder whether they would appreciate the comparison. What do you think? I've yet to catch up on the point where I've begun listening to your live wonderful show, but I know it will be an adventure. As for the future of FurCast, no one can truly know, but as long as there is talkative furries, there will be a furry broadcast. Thanks for all the fun, Whisper Kitty.
Neat. Yeah, old episodes. Good times.
Mm-hmm. The days of Maddox. Pizza calzone.
I remember Pizza Calzone. That was such a great argument that you guys had. What episode was that? Was that 85?
I don't remember. I still remember the argument.
No, I think it was.
It was whether a
80.
Hot Pocket was a calzone.
And
I refused.
No, it was whether a calzone was a pizza.
But then we got into the discussion of Hot Pockets. What are Hot Pockets?
No, I don't think it was about Hot Pockets.
We got into the discussion of Hot Pockets. I remember this very well.
Well, I remember...
but it was originally, if you fold over a pizza, is it a calzone? And then it was pizza. Then we'd made a classification of the scientific side of things, like animal
genus. Yeah, genus was like the
pizza. Because where does Hot Pockets fall
into? Pizza, and then pizza calzone was the species or whatever. Yeah, that was so funny. Oh man.
If B was not in California, I would have them back on the show. I miss those rants.
Yeah, if B's ever in the area, that would be great. Do like a special thing or something.
I still talk to her every now and then.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I keep in touch.
Huh. I haven't talked to B since way before B even moved. I haven't talked to B in years.
Went to B's house. Yes.
B's in California now, right?
Yeah. If I go to California next year for the
E3?
Not E3. Stephen Kirk is making his own convention.
Really?
That's not DEF CON.
Not DEF CON? He's starting a new con?
Mm-hmm. I forget, it's like some kind of sci-fi con.
Oh. That'd be pretty cool, though.
And I could do a panel on furries.
Ooh, you could. What was I going to say? Could we, like, message B and be like, yo, for episode 300, get a flight here?
I'd pay for a flight.
I would. I'd split it with you. That'd be pretty, like, awesome. I don't know if B would say yes to that, though.
See, I'm more upset that you're saying this idea because I had this idea planned.
Really?
All along.
Or were you gonna like surprise or something?
Not surprise, but like that was like my original plan. I was like,
have you talked to B about that?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
What did B say?
Well, I don't know. It was a while ago.
Oh, okay.
It was like episode 220, 230, maybe. What are we on now? 282. That's like that's like a year. That's like 50 weeks.
Yeah,
if not more.
Pretty much. All right, I have an email. Maybe the last email for the night. Maybe we'll do one more. Fan mail. Hello and greetings. I am a reasonably young 15-year-old who has just come to terms with being pansexual. Okay. The problem is that my parents and pretty much every person I've ever met offline are anti anything not heterosexual. Okay. It is extremely scary thinking that if they might find out at some point.
Everything.
So I've covered it up pretty quickly. My question is, what should I do? My plan for now is basically to bottle it up until I'm old enough to move out. But it would be extremely difficult to do so.
Correct.
Hold on, let me finish. And they would likely find out by then. I occasionally hear them talking about how they feel about stuff like this, and it hurts me each time more than the last. I am almost at my limit. I made this email account specifically for this message, and I'm going to delete it after this message gets sent. Okay.
As we've stated before many times before, so I'm going to jump back to like old times of articles. You know your parents better than we do, and if you know that they are against it and your family's against it, and you know you can't handle the situation of after you bring it up, then don't bring it up. That was it. That was the
my suggestion to anybody going through this. And by the way, this email is kind of old. We're just getting to it now. But my suggestion to anybody who's going through something like that is to make connections with people who are either going through similar or who can help you out. Don't invest like all of your, don't like end all be all to like one person or thing that could have the potential to let you down. But depending on like what kind of school you go to, if you go to like a Catholic school, then I don't know. But if you have maybe like just if you go to like a public school, you could try seeking like maybe a school counselor or like a not a school counselor but like a social worker or something, and if you're nervous about telling them, you might be able to go to them and say, do you have any recommendations on who I could talk to that is better? And they might have recommendations for stuff in your local area. There's usually also GSAs and like, LGBT alliances and stuff. And even if you like don't want your parents to know you go to that or something, you might be able to find like the teacher that runs that at your school and talk to them about it and say like, hey, I don't want to stay after for this, but do you have any resources for me? Anybody that I can talk to? Do you know anybody who like maybe I could become friends with or something? And they might be able to like connect you with other peers that are like could help you out or could spend more time with you. I think especially at a young age, that's the best thing that's going to be for you is find adults in positions that are very responsible and helpful, or find peers that you can either relate to or who will also help bring you up in life. And then eventually you're right. When you move out, or you can just be yourself because it doesn't matter anyway. You'll be of adult age. There we go. And obviously it depends a little bit on like what region of the world you live in and things like that. But, it's all about pretty much in almost every region, unless you live in like the Middle East or something. And in most or like certain African countries. And most like westernized-ish countries, you should be able to find some resource to help you out for like LGBT stuff, or LGBTQ stuff, should I say. So, yeah.
But just on top of that, like, I guess bottling up was not usually the best decision, but if you can speak with others, like you were saying, that's one of the things that you should do. But if it's something that, like, again, you know your family and everything better, and as it sounds like they're not okay with stuff like that. And my biggest thing to all this is that if you yourself know you can't handle, if presented them finding out or whatever, then don't tell them.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things, like, until you're old enough that you can get away from the situation after you tell them, then by all means tell them. But if you're posed in a situation where you have, 3, 4, 5, 6 years with people and you try to discuss something that you know is going to cause you stress and cause a situation to occur, then it's to me it's common sense, but not. But
I mean, and you mentioned that you were nervous about.
Intended.
You mentioned that you were nervous about even sending the email to us. I mean, there's a lot of resources online, so I also suggest maybe, if it doesn't fit with your mindset, then you don't have to, but like, maybe, forgive me, I'm biased because I'm a techie person, but like, there's lots of ways that you could learn to like kind of go undercover in the way you communicate online. Maybe it's through like encryption, or maybe it's through just certain networks of people and being careful about logs. Getting your own computer would be a big one if you can like find your own access to the internet. If your parents are like really restrictive over that, then that sucks. But there might be the local library, or you might be able to talk to your school about that. I don't know. It depends on like where you live, but there's ways. Even if you have nothing in your hand but like an iPod Touch or something, there are resources for you that will help you learn to communicate better in ways that are pretty cool, and practice with a mindset of like, not just if your parents find your computer or your device or your phone or your iPod or your whatever, how can you protect your data and your communication and stuff? Those are things to think about, and there's tons of resources for it online, and I highly recommend that. Even if you're not like a techie programmer, there is nothing wrong with learning how to protect data and communication. It is always a good skill to have, even for just completely other things in life. So, yeah.
I have an email.
Okay.
Except they use a pun in the name. Went to my first con. I'll forgive you. This once. Hello, FurCast. Wolfie here. Not even bothered by the mispronunciation at this point. Wolf-A. Wolf-E. Wolf.
Yeah.
The E's not silent to me.
We have this conversation every time this person talks to us. It's funny.
I mean, I'm going to put a little asterisk over the E, so you can be like, Wolf A.
Some person just emailed us and said, "My name is Springs. I was curious if the FurCast group had a plan to add a video player to the FurCast site because YouTube is stupid as fuck." Yeah, we have a video player on our website. That's the main video stream. YouTube is the backup stream. So maybe it's your like mobile device or something that's giving you issues. Yeah, we have a video page on the site with many different options on how to watch it.
Do we still have the audio only page too?
Yep, we have the audio only page. We also have a mobile app for Android and iOS, and you can also use VLC Media Player or like WMV and like, I mean, I don't know. There's also like MPD on Linux, but I'm assuming
I would not set up a GoFundMe so someone in chat says like, set up a GoFundMe to get Maddox back on the show.
No, we don't need we already have Patreon.
We
don't need a GoFundMe and Patreon. That's a little bit much.
I would buy the ticket myself if I had to. So
yeah, I mean, the Patreon money effectively becomes, well, legally it becomes my income. But yeah, no, I would just immediately take that money and just put it towards a flight. That's no problem at all.
With some updates from this last email. In case your previous email wasn't read, which actually I forgot to add a subject line to the email, the fact was I was going to Aquatifer? Aquatifer.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a con.
Aquatifer 2017. I had an amazing time there, so much in fact that you guys would probably take a guess at what happened after the con was over, and I was finally home. Con crud. No. Post-con depression.
Yeah, probably.
PCD.
I always get pre-con depression.
I just feel silence. Like you could feel silence after a con.
Yeah. For me, it was always the thing that shocked me when I first left a furry con is all of a sudden people not having tails. Really struck me. I was like, oh my God.
No, from wearing a tail a lot and then wagging a bunch?
Yeah, exactly. Because I would wear a tail. I don't usually wear a tail as much anymore at cons because it just gets in the way, honestly. But I used to wear a tail all the time, and it would always weird me out not having one. On one hand, I was happy about it because it was like, oh my God, it's so much easier to move around now. But then on the other hand, I was like really depressed. Yeah.
Anyhow. But while there, I was able to see some. So this is a kind of a account of first con endeavor, which we don't do too many of those on the show, so I figured I'd read through it. But while I was there, I was able to see fursuits up close this time around. You got to see the dealer's den, go to some of the panels, and even look for a couple of photos with some YouTube furs. So as a recap, I wanted to write about it. On the first night of the con, I went to a panel that YouTube fur, who was also one of the guests of honor, and was wondering if it was all right to give him some fan art. The furry in question's name was Booker the Fox. What does he do on YouTube? Is he a gamer?
Say the name again?
Booker the Fox.
Never heard of him. Oh, I can look it up in a second. I'm helping somebody in the chat room right now.
And he was nice about it, even read it out loud. When he discovered it was my first, he was very surprised. Later on, one of the Mystic Maker's fursuiters, named Fuse, came up to say hello and introduce himself as well. He asked me if I drew the fan art, and I said yes. And he noticed where there were some other fan art pieces from the guests of honor at the con, such as Majira and Telephone, who couldn't make it because it ended up catching the flu. What I didn't notice, though, was that Majira was already in the room and the panel took place, and Fuse waved him down over to me. I never thought that I'd freeze or become too shy to introduce myself, but I guess when a person joins the fandom a little over a year and meet a Poppy Fur, or Popular Furry, who just happens to share the same birthday as you, things change.
Just happens to share the same birthday. That's awesome.
I mean, to be honest, I think when I first joined the fandom, it was overwhelming. It's Anthrocon 2007 was my first con. Yeah. 10 years ago.
Wow.
To be honest, I met people who went to cons more, because I know there was a few people that I met there that I knew prior that have gone to cons. It's funny because they were already out of the whole phase of like meeting people. They already had their like groups of people that they hang out with. And I know, like, even back then, I was like excited to like meet up with people. I remember even meeting Kage for the first time, and it was like, oh wow, Kage, And then as you kind of go in the fandom, you realize that like more people like have kind of stigmas to them too, and then also that you just kind of like adapt to where your own group is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny too because when I originally went to a con, like the people I was with knew everyone, and I was just like, how? He's like, every person that they went like walked to, like they were like, oh hey.
That's the way I am at cons now. Like, I can't even get down the hallway at a con without being like, oh hey, oh hey, oh hey. It's like, it's so difficult because you just start to, I don't know, like after, especially smaller cons, like great examples like MCFC. I've been going to MCFC for 7 years now. 6 or 7 years now. And it's only like 1,000 people. So, I mean, you go to the con, and the whole point of the con is to socialize with people. Once you go to the con that many times, you see the same faces, you see the same people.
Well, that's how those people
the,
that had the connections already had from just constantly going to cons.
I have so many great connections, too, because there are people that are just known to me as that guy that did that thing, or even just that guy. So, like, there's this one, I think he's from Austria, this furry that is always at North American cons.
Well, Cammy is your twin. So
whenever I see him, we like stare each other down and point, and like we'll keep walking and we just keep pointing at each other, and then like eventually we'll like turn the corner and then we'll like still be pointing. And every time we see each other, we do that. I have no clue. I know nothing about him. I don't know, and it's just that's our thing. And for like 5 years we've been doing that. And then there's like there's one other guy.
I still like the fact that like you don't know Cammy at all. You've never met him.
Yes, I have. Yes, I've talked to Cammy multiple times.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, in the beginning you didn't. Okay.
So okay.
And then people were like, oh, alternate Cammy.
So
and you're like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah, I remember that back in the day. So I remember at the New York Fur is it not the New York Fur Bowl? The new, is it the New York?
The Delaware Fur Bowl?
The Delaware Fur Ball thing. Anyway, Zarko's messaging me about a blowjob. He says if he supports us on Patreon, can he get a blowjob?
You're increasing your risk of cancer.
Sure. So
try anal instead.
So there's this other fur that I won't mention his name, but I met him on LiveJournal back in the day, and we had always wanted to hang out. And the first con that I saw him at, I didn't even realize he was going to be at, but I saw him in an elevator, and I'm like, holy shit, are you? And he was like, yeah. He goes, dude, what's up? And we were like, hugging. We were like, yeah, good con. Yeah, oh, we're going out to eat. Oh, cool. All right, we'll see you later. And for 7 years now, I have been trying to hang out with this person, and now it's just a thing that we're never going to hang out. Like the one time I saw him at MFF, and I was like, oh, dude, it's good to see you. And I'm like, are we going to hang out this con? He goes, I don't know, man. And I'm like, well, I mean, you know that we can't anymore. And he's like, what? And I'm like, well, we haven't hung out like every time we've tried because you're always busy with other things and I'm always busy. And he goes, well, I've got nothing going on tonight. I was like, well, I've got nothing going on tonight either, but I mean, we can't hang out. That would ruin it. And he goes, yeah, you're right. And so he's like, we better not hang out then. And so now it's this joke that we like can't see each other or hang out. And like if we ever see each other, it's like, oh man, it's too bad. I'm going to be busy. Stupid shit like that just starts happening when you go to free conventions a lot. You just start to develop things with people like that.
Well, what sucks for me is like I remember faces, so if I meet someone, I'll always remember their face, but I'm terrible with names. I am absolutely abysmal with names. There's people that I worked with as coworkers, and I didn't remember their names. So like that's my downfall. Like I could hang out with someone once and recognize their face, and I could spot them in a crowd. I'd be like, oh, I hung out with them. I've hung out with them. I've hung out with them.
Yeah.
What's their names? And I'm like, I've hung out with them. I've hung out with them. I've hung out with them.
And you just go, it's like, oh, I've seen that person DJ. Oh, I've seen that person run a room party. Oh, I've seen that person naked. Oh, I've seen that person drunk off their ass. And it's like you can go through like like the history that you have with that person, but not their name.
But I was gonna go over time. I recognize people like as I go to more and more cons and see the same people more and more, especially some of the fans more and more. Like LWR. Every time I see him, I just scream. Oh, yeah. Wastegate was another. I'm trying to think of their names. Just keep like if I see them, I'm like, oh, how's it going? And then like I'll remember names, but like I feel terrible because there are people that I've hung out with at like 2 or 3 cons, but I still can't remember their names.
Yeah,
but like over time I do. But
yeah. But no, I mean, you can, and it's funny too, because you can go to a furry con on like the other side of a country or the other side of the world, and you'll see the same goddamn faces sometimes. Like,
or you'll go to a con and see people from your own town that you have never hung out with.
Yep.
From your own town. They could be your neighbors.
Yep. At MFF, I met a furry at MFF that lives like 3 streets away from here.
I've met many that live in Hamburg.
For the record, MFF is like a 7.5-hour drive.
That I've never hung out with in Hamburg.
Yep.
Ever.
But
still to this day.
Yep.
But I still hang out with them at cons.
Yep.
We live.
Shout out to Fostwolf. Fostwolf lives like a town away, and I see him all the time at cons, and I've never hung out with him in our area. Like every time we're at a con,
he lived 10 minutes from my parents' house.
Really?
10 minutes.
Fostwolf?
Yes. We never have like. I think we went like out on Halloween one year, but otherwise, all of our like contacts have been at cons.
Yeah,
which it's just weird, but
yeah.
Anyhow, back to email. The next day, I went to the panel being run by Alkali. I fucking love Alkali, to be honest. Mr. Top Hat.
Yeah.
You don't even have to know it. You don't even have to know his name. All you have to know is just Top Hat, and you know Alkali.
Mm-hmm.
about what the do's and don'ts at a person first con were, and he mentioned something about alcohol and said, "Don't drink any alcohol unless you're an adult." I know that the drinking age is 21, but being a smartass, I said, "So 18 then?" Point on that. To which they just paused, squinted at me, and said, "Kid, you scare me. You better watch yourself because I will throw this head at you, and it does have a blade." Which, honestly, I like Alkali, so he's humorous to me. Him, Boozy. Oh. D-Myth.
Mm-hmm.
We're playing, and a bunch of other people, but I remember them three specifically. We're playing King's Cup at the new con that we went to.
New con that we went to?
I went to with CJ and Zed.
Oh, in Philly?
Yes, the first year con.
Fuck.
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia, here.
You said in Philly, and I was like, Philadelphia.
Philadelphia, yeah.
But,
okay.
I'm just thinking of like past times with people like it, and they're hilarious, but regardless of anything like that.
All right. Last email here that we're on, guys, and then we're going to call it a night. And we'll take some calls, by the way. For the post show, we'll take some calls.
Just to comment on this email, there's a lot of furs. Like when I was first joined the fandom, there's a lot of people that like I looked towards, and like they were just kind of assholes. People, so they're like, "Oh, who are you?" You know, at least when I joined the fandom.
Yeah.
And what I love to see now is that there are many furs like Spots who offers like does the tea panel or cookies and tea panel. You have Majira, and then you have a bunch of other popular furs that literally reach out to their fans. Even us, I would say even us. I don't like to say popular though, because that bothers me.
Yeah, don't say that.
Yeah,
no,
like that. But us in general, like, I don't think there's ever been a con where like I haven't tried. Like, if someone messaged me and was like, "Oh, I want to hang out. I want to go, do this." If I'm not busy, I try to like actually go out and hang out with them, or at least spend some time with them, because like, cons are crazy. So I can't ever promise anything because you have no idea what's going to happen at a con. That's the one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I like to see that that's happening more and more now, because that was one of the things that I saw very few and far between when I came into the fandom.
Yeah.
Like there was a lot of people that just were really pompous and just arrogant. And now it seems like that kind of diminished a lot. And the people that were that have kind of gone to the sidelines, and a lot of people that are in...
Everybody's a lot more like on the same level.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what I like a lot, is that, everyone's kind of open and accepting of anyone new coming into the fandom. And, what was the one? I come back to the one instance that the one fur that was at MFF was like, "Oh, this is my first con." I was like, I'll take you under my wing. And like, we just like went through the whole con, and like everyone like loved, I can't remember his name, and it's bothered me so much because I haven't hung out with him in a while.
I think I remember that.
But I remember like him going to parties, and people like, "Pharaoh, your friend is drunk." And I was like, "What do you mean my friend?" I was like, "Yeah, he's my friend." But I was like, "I've only hung out with him with one con. What's happening?" They're like...
Wow, furries destroyed him.
Furries did destroy him. I think he got drunk in an igloo.
What?
He got drunk and built an igloo. And I said I was proud of him.
What?
Yes.
Moving on.
People were scared because he was drunk and then built an igloo and then like slept inside the igloo.
Yeah, it is pretty scary. Because cold and everything.
Yes.
Anyway, we should finish this email.
Sorry.
It's all good.
Good
stories.
I'm
good
reminiscing of stories. It's Pharaoh story times here. Anyhow, later that day, I went to the YouTuber's live stream panel and saw a front row. A friend chance asked the guest of honor some questions. When all of a sudden, Nos Hyena appeared and introduced himself. Later asked the question on how does one handle people who want to take photos with you but are too shy to do so.
Nos owes me fucking Tim Tams. Nos came up to me at a con and was like, "Yo, man, I'm filming a video and it has to have Australian things in it." So I'm like, "Cool, man, I got the hookup." And so basically, Nos Hyena and I set up a drug deal where I handed him Tim Tams, and I'm like, "Yo, man, I got the stuff." And I handed him Tim Tams, and he still has not paid me back for the Tim Tams. So, Nos Hyena, if you're watching, which you're probably not, but if you are, I demand Tim Tams as payment. In fact, interest. I need a
Tim Tam and a half.
Tim Tam and a half.
By next con, it will be 2 Tim Tams. But right now, it's just Tim Tam and a half.
Pretty much.
He stole Tim Tams from you?
Yeah, he did. Well, he didn't steal them. I offered them, but then he never paid me back. I don't know if he even ever did anything. He was supposed to film a video with them, and he needed Tim Tams at the con. I think it was Anthrocon, actually, and I gave him Tim Tams. I was like, he DM'd me actually saying, "Yo, do you have Tim Tams?" And I was like, "Yo, man, I got the hookup. Where do you want to meet?"
That's something too. Is I love
I got the pure stuff. It's not laced or anything.
I like those caramel Tim Tams. I don't like these regular original Tim Tams. They're gross.
Target only has the caramel ones now, so you should go to Target and get them.
The coconut one's really good too.
Oh, I hate. I'll bring back some when I go to New Zealand.
All right, just not the original ones. The original ones suck. I don't know how you can eat those.
I'll bring back a package of coconut ones just for you.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
They were going on about people who are too shy to take pictures, and I've had that happen to me before, where I was in the suit and people like kind of shied away, and I chased after them. I don't think that's the best thing to do.
Yeah.
But I made them take a picture. They're like, I wanted to take a picture so bad. I was like, do it!
Come here!
Come here! Get over here!
Don't blink.
Well, we're gonna take another one.
Dude, my favorite thing to do when I'm taking pictures of fursuiters is go, "Oh, one of you blinked."
God damn it, you're one of those people.
Yep.
I hate you.
I always do that.
I hate you.
Yep.
Yeah. Once panel was over, I went back to the motel and I lost my place. And came back to the charity. I guess found it paint stuff and auctioned it off for charity. I saw that. I love that. I think who was it? Pepper Coyote and Foxamore were in a charity event where they had to paint something and then they auctioned off their paintings. And they're not artists.
Yeah.
So like it's like
horrible paintings. People who pay
it's like a treescape, like. But I want that to happen more at cons, where like you have guest of honors that like can't draw at all.
Yeah, where they have to like do something they're in particular not good at, like make a fursuit maker draw or something, or like
Well, no, like it would work for some guest of honors who are actually artists, but others that aren't, it would be absolutely fabulous. This fine piece it's like abstract art,
right?
Someone like the furry Picasso here, or
Yeah.
Bob Ross landscape. That has to come back. If that's not going to be a thing, I'm going to make it a thing at Anthrocon. I want to have.
That'd be pretty good.
I'll make more cons do that. I'm going to message some cheer. We need to have the guests of honor draw art.
Okay, we need to finish this email.
Okay, I am working on it.
I know.
Okay, so they went finally got a chance to take photos with a bunch of suitors, Majira, Booker, and I felt bad because the first photo they take was blurry. And I forgot to smile and it felt really bad. So like one of those situations.
Oh, dude, I've taken so many shitty selfies that I feel really bad about because I've done that before. Where
Gail is the selfie queen.
Oh yeah.
Every photo that she takes with the first sitter and she has the smile.
Yeah.
You've not seen Gail's photos? Like
no, I haven't. Continue reading the email.
I will. Settle yourself. Settle yourself.
Okay, I'm settled.
So anyway, hope to get a chance to go and visit other cons soon. Wolf. P.S. Paradox, if you think that you're the only one to pronounce the name wrong, my friend and I went up to pre-reg for our super sponsor badge, and they pronounced it as Wolf E as well. And the ironic thing was that the people on the con staff had his name Wolf WOLFE Tech, spelled the same way, and pronounced it Wolf Tech. And he just made a shrug emoji.
That's kind of weird.
I know it's Wolf, but I like Wolf A. It sounds more fancy.
Wolf A.
Wolf A.
Wolf A.
Like a new fragrance by
Wolf A.
PPS, I have a sketch done for CJ and Paradox. However, coming up with an idea for what Faye's sketch should look like is kind of difficult. And story of my life.
Yeah.
Anyways, when I get a chance, I'd like to mail it to P.O. Box or whatever you use for episode 300. So let me know when the drawing is complete and I'll send it. And they sent photos of Majira and Booker.
Very
and
nice.
Hyena.
Well, thank you for sending an email in. Thank you to all of you guys for sending emails. Thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. Thank you to all of my friends who put up with my bullshit. Thank you to everybody for tuning in and actually enjoying this show for some reason. And we will see you probably next week, right? We should be doing a show next week, right? Right?
I think so.
I think so. Okay, cool. But yeah, no, thank you to everybody for supporting us.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah, happy Halloween. If that's a thing that you celebrate, and you should, there's candy. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's like anything else to mention, but it's just kind of been, I don't know, life, being honest, my life has been like kind of boring lately. There's really not much going on. I mean, my trip to Toronto was awesome. That was like the highlight of like the past month or two. MFF is coming up though. That'll be exciting. So yeah, are you going to MFF?
Probably not.
Probably not because of work.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
because I just started.
Yeah.
And I'm on probation.
Right. I'm sorry.
Shit happens.
Yeah. Hey, at least, it'll be a good job that you like.
Mm-hmm.
That's what matters, And plus, after MFF, there's, Fernal Equinox and stuff that we can go to, and then MCFC.
Well, next year my vacation time carries over, so... And I only work, I think, one day of the weekend, so I only work Sunday.
Right. Cool.
So I could literally actually take off for a lot more cons.
There we go.
Because I'll have money and the availability. So yeah.
Cool. Well, anyway, so hope you guys enjoy your the rest of your spoopy weekend and spoopy week. Thank you guys for tuning in to FurCast. For everybody tuning in live and all of our Patreon $1 supporters, stay tuned for the post show. But in the meantime, for our traditional podcast listeners, we bid you farewell.
You remember last year?
Of course, you say something after.
Of course, I have to. I mean,
yeah, you always ruin every cue.
I have to ruin every cue. That's my job.
I know it is.
It's how Fox works. Like, we just ruin everything.
I know.
Like, we're blue.
So anyway, what were you going to mention?
Oh, last year's Halloween when we tried to hand out candy to kids, and we bought all this candy and brought it here, and then no one came. There was, for some reason, there wasn't a lot of kids that came that year.
Yeah, I think it's because it was cold.
And then so we went outside in fursuit and just started handing out candy down the streets, which was probably sketch as all hell. But then we were giving candy to adults, and we were like, we should have a beer caravan and just Are
you guys going to do anything for Halloween this year?
I'm going to hopefully buy candy and give it to kids. Yeah. Maybe.
You have a house now. Your doorbell works. I fixed your doorbell.
I know. You have a doorbell.
You have a doorbell that works, even though I'm pretty sure you barricade the front door, don't you?
No.
Oh, okay. I remember at one point it was.
It was.
Oh. By the way, I want to change all the locks on that because I want to use the front door to go in. I prefer it, and
unfortunately, the big door.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have to change out the actual door.
Really?
We might be able to change the one lock on it.
Right, because it's that old-fashioned internal only lock deadbolt thing.
So we can change the deadbolt. We can't change the internal locking mechanism for the door because it's a skeleton key.
Yeah, I don't know. It would be nice to be able to go in that door. Because of course, packages always show up at that door too, and it's always annoying.
No, packages show up on the side door.
Really?
Yes. They'll stick it in the side door, and we weren't using the side door. We haven't used the side door almost ever.
I use the side door all the time. I prefer that door. It's easier to me.
I'm a back door kind of person.
Very nice.
It's a very backdoor house. There's types of houses.
Because
some
of the driveway.
houses are front
but
door.
I park in front all the time. Anyway, moving on. You guys are listening to FurCast. Thanks for tuning in. For our traditional podcast listeners, we bid you farewell.
This is the Zana Broadcasting Network.